Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Thursday, June 1st, 2023, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App, $ORION NWSF, or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the NBA Finals game number 1 in 2023. Miami Heat versus the Denver Nuggets. Live reactions and a watch party with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. So we're going to get tip-off here in about 10 minutes. And there's not really a whole lot going on besides this right now. And then the Angels and the Astros are going at it on FS1 in the bottom of the first. So obviously I'll be kind of bouncing back and forth to see what's going on with the Angels and the Astros, as well as this game 1 in Denver. I know that the Cinderella story, you know, not only in the NHL playoffs, but in the NBA playoffs, it would definitely be the Miami Heat, you know, being an 8 seed, and also with the Florida Panthers being a low-end seed, making it all the way to the finals. I'm just not really sure if they're going to be able to go all the way. A lot of people think that the Vegas Golden Knights and the Denver Nuggets are the best teams that are left, respectively. True. But Miami is grimy. Florida has been hot. So you never really know what's going to happen on the NBA final side, as well as the NHL Stanley Cup. So we will be doing a few of these watch parties, live reactions, play-by-play for the NBA Finals. And we'll be doing the Stanley Cup, which I believe Sarah mentioned starts Saturday. So we're probably going to do this today. We'll do Dodgers and Yankees probably tomorrow, depending on what we have for a schedule. It looks like game 2 won't be until June 4th. So they are really spreading these out. June 1st is game 1, then June 4th, June 7th, June 9th, June 12th. So they are spreading these out. I was wondering if there was going to be a game 2 like tomorrow, but apparently they are pushing this series out quite a bit, you know, to at least spread it out for ratings and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. You know, it could be a number of things today. If the Miami Heat legitimately want to be able to win the championship this year, they have to win, you know, these first 2 games on the road, or at least split, you know, and if they can do that, then that'll get them going, since they'll have a couple games at home. But both teams are pretty good on the road. So, you know, just because if you lose a couple at home doesn't necessarily mean that the series is over. The Nuggets got the best player in the NBA, Nikola Jokic. All right, the Joker. You know, the Miami Heat have Jimmy Butler. It's not the social media finals with the Celtics and the Lakers. It's more of a grinded out basketball finals with the Heat and the Nuggets. It's, you know, not going to be as highly viewed or rated as a Celtics-Lakers finals would have been. But in the end, we are going to be able to see one team, you know, bringing a championship home. And obviously we know the Miami Heat have made a lot of finals experiences and appearances, you know, in quite some time within the last 10, 15 years. You know, with the Nuggets, if they end up winning this championship, this will be their first. So, I mean, obviously we're getting the Joker his first title, getting the Nuggets to be champions overall would be obviously exciting. And we already saw what the Colorado Avalanche were able to do for obviously Denver, Colorado, and Colorado in general. Not saying that the Broncos are anywhere near the pace of the Avalanche and the Nuggets, but if you are a fan of Denver or Colorado, things have been actually pretty nice in the last couple years. Sarah in the building, what's good? Let's get to 100 in donos. Hopefully we get a few people to come through and come hang out. Like I said, there was always a possibility, you know, to end up doing the Angels and Astros, but at this point, I figured this is the matchup. You know, might as well watch it, see how it goes, and hopefully it ends up being competitive. Hopefully we don't get a Nuggets blowout by 20 points in the first game. I mean, I could definitely see the series playing out a number of ways. I could see the Nuggets going in 6. I could see the Nuggets winning in 7. I could see the Miami Heat pushing the series to 6 or 7, but I don't know if I can really see any circumstance with Miami winning. And then I could probably see a more probable outcome. The Nuggets sweeping the series in the finals is probably more likely than the Heat winning in 6 or 7. And it's no disrespect to the Miami Heat. I definitely think that they're good. They got to this point. But I don't really have anyone to match up with the Joker. You know, maybe Bam Adebayo and a few others, but I mean, Miami's going to have to play out of their mind to be able to keep up with a team like the Denver Nuggets, who's more of a defensive first, rebounding first type of squad. Never say never, but I would assume that Denver will handle the business and get it done here tonight. So let's go, baby. Let me take a peek here at the scores here for today. All right, what do we got here for baseball today? I can't believe it's June 1st already. This is wild. All right, we got Reds 1, Red Sox 0, bottom of the 4th. Guardians 1, Twins 0, top of the 4th. The Angels Astros is what I got going on here right now. I'm keeping up with that. And there wasn't very many games on today. Blue Jays beat the Brewers in a final 3-1. Mets beat the Phillies 4-2. Padres beat the Marlins 10-1. So at least Elliott is happy there. And then we got the Diamondbacks beating the Rockies. I can't believe the Diamondbacks are 34-23, a similar record to the Yankees. That's wild. 5-4 over the Rockies. The Diamondbacks are holding that second position with the Dodgers in that division pretty strong. Wow, that's crazy. All right, so we got about 10 minutes to go until we get off the tip-off here. Yeah, I bet. Well, I just saw a note on the bottom of the screen that said Mazzulla is going to return as Celtics head coach. I wonder how that's going to go. I just feel if you have him there, I don't know if you're ever going to be able to win anything with him. Of course, you hope that he gets better, but if the players have kind of given up on him, I mean, what do you expect next year? A lot of expectations and then the same thing happening again where you fall short. I mean, ultimately it's up to the players, Tatum, Brown, they have to make a decision this year and next year if you keep both of them. And if I was the Celtics, I definitely would, but money talks. And if they think they can find another role player to play with Tatum, if they decide to let Brown go, I think they'll realize like how talented Brown is. If they do decide to have him leave, it's not going to be easy to replace a player like that. So, all right, we got Van Gundy, Breen, and Mark Jackson here. And then let me go to tomorrow here real quick. I was going to take a peek. All right, so tomorrow, lots more baseball action because a lot of teams were traveling today to get to their next destination for their home or their away stand that they're going to be, going against. Joker 29.9, 27.7 for Jamal Murray. That's crazy that Jamal Murray is only averaging 2 points less than the Joker, and that's a big reason why they're here still. So we got Brewers, Reds tomorrow, Athletics, Marlins, Phillies, Nats, Cardinals, Pirates. Ooh, that's going to be tough. What do you think about that series? That's going to be not easy. Hopefully you guys can compete in that series, Sarah, but that'll be tough. I remember when I played them just a few days ago, they weren't easy. Rays, Red Sox, Blue Jays, Mets, Mariners, Rangers. That's not going to be easy. Rangers are in first place. We could get our ass kicked tomorrow. Angels, Astros again. Guardians, Twins. And then they got Rockies, Royals, Tigers, White Sox, Braves, Diamondbacks, Cubs, Padres, and then the Yankees, Dodgers matchup. So we're either going to do Yankees, Dodgers tomorrow, or we're going to do Mariners, Rangers tomorrow. One of those two matchups. So. And it's going to be Luis Castillo versus John Gray. Castillo's 4-2. John Gray's 5-1. Holy shit for the Rangers. And then for the Yankees and the Dodgers, Luis Severino, which will be, looks like he has no wins, no losses, a 1.59 ERA, limited time. And then Kershaw, who's 6-4. So we'll definitely figure out what we, go from that point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to end up doing. That'll be the late game. It'll start around 7. So as long as it's on FS1 or MLB Network, which I assume I'll be able to get here, in the West Coast, then we'll be fine. Mariner game starts at like 5:10. The Dodgers Yankees is at like 7:10. So. Yeah, I saw that. Should have never sent him down. Nuggets! I know it's not like a sexy thing, you know what I mean? Sometimes when you got teams that are just, defense rebounding first, they've been slept on, hated on all season, kept the number one position all year, and everyone just kept wanting to replace them. Everyone just assumed that they wouldn't be able to make it, that they would fall apart, like they have in years past. But this year feels a little bit different. So, and then also too, having a lot of those other teams get, banged up and beat up. I think, if we would have been able to get a Nuggets Bucks, if we would have got the Joker and Giannis, that would have brought ratings, being able to see those two big men go at it, arguably the two best players in the NBA at this point. But you still got to give a lot of love to the Miami Heat. I just don't know if they have the bodies to match up in a 7-game series. I think they're good enough to win a game or two against the Nuggets. But again, the Nuggets are so good that they could easily sweep this series. It could be Nuggets in 4, Nuggets in 5, 6, or 7. I mean, there's not really any scenario that would be shocking to me. Of course, the sweep typically is shocking, but the way that the Nuggets are and how good they are, it wouldn't shock me against the Miami Heat. Now, if we were playing against, maybe the Milwaukee Bucks, yeah, there's not going to be a sweep. That's going to go 6 or 7 regardless. But hopefully we end up getting a competitive, NBA Finals here. JB in the building. What's good? Let's go, baby. And like I said, another reason why I want to touch on at least a few of these matchups, I do enjoy watching the Joker. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a hybrid Larry Bird. He's got a little bit of a little bit of Dirk, a little bit of Larry Bird, all in one. And I definitely like Dirk. I love Bird back in the day. Obviously Miami is going to be more of the flashy team. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are going to be rooting, for Jimmy Butler. But sometimes what you want, right, in your heart and what you already know up here, if you bet with your heart and you bet with the Miami Heat, you're going to lose a lot of money. But if you bet up here with your head, knowing that the Joker is the best player in the world, it'd be smarter to make bets with the Nuggets. Now, is it possible that Jimmy Butler overcomes and then they win it all? Yeah. But the only honest way I could see that happening is that if the Nuggets get hurt. The only team that's going to beat the Denver Nuggets is the Denver Nuggets. So if the Joker gets hurt, Jamal Murray gets hurt, then the Miami Heat can win. But other than that, I don't see them being able to compete, in this 7-game series. Definitely think they are good enough to win a couple, 1 or 2. But we've seen the Nuggets, sweep teams. We've seen the Nuggets beat teams in 5 and pretty easily too. And they're the only team in the NBA, defense first, rebounding first. They kind of remind me of that Detroit Pistons squad, that went against the Lakers, and they had like the defensive guys, the Chauncey Billups, the Rip Hamilton, the Tayshaun Prince, the Ben Wallace, the Rasheed Wallace. This Denver Nugget team reminds me of that team. And like I said, they may not have one guy that stands out, even though it is the Joker, you know what I mean? But it just seems like they're really selfless. They don't really care who gets the love or the pub. And a lot of times with the Joker, he's not padding his stats. All he wants is W's. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that about him. So definitely want to see if he can end up averaging a triple-double. I want to be able to see if he can hit 30, 40, 50 points in the series. So I'm not sure if we're going to do every game. We'll be able to see what lies on the schedule. But we'll do a few of the NBA Finals games. We're going to do probably almost every single Stanley Cup final game with Florida and Vegas. But I want to try to at least get 2 or 3 of these games in, if possible, just to have it as content. And then we'll be sprinkling a little wrestling and baseball as well. So Daniel in the building. What's good? Anybody got predictions for game 1? Anybody think that Miami has a legitimate shot here on the road in game 1? Or is this going to be Nuggets and Nuggets by a lot? I mean, I just don't see Miami winning this first game at home. But sometimes you can steal a first game on the road because maybe the home team is a little bit overconfident. And, if you start off a little slow and the Heat are hot and they play defense, yeah, they could steal game 1 or game 2. I don't think that the Heat are good enough to steal both games, not against this squad. But if you are looking at stealing a game, usually game 1, you can punch a team in the mouth. If you're confident and you're the underdog and you just play Miami Heat basketball and the Nuggets are a little off with the threes or the free throws, or the Joker gets in foul trouble, Yeah, early on, he gets like 3 fouls in the first half. They put him into the bench. Yeah, you may be able to find a way to position yourself to get the dub, but like I said, I can definitely see this series going many, many ways. It could be a long series, 6 or 7 with Denver winning, or it could be Denver in a sweep or somewhere in between. So I hope it ends up being a good series, but don't be surprised if it ends up being a little bit shorter of a series than expected. I mean, this is the fucking Denver Nuggets right now. So Peyton's at the game on ice. Yeah, I imagine there's a lot of people. I would assume Russell Wilson and, I would assume a lot of the, Denver Bronco players, Colorado Avalanche players. I imagine there's going to be quite a few people that will be there. And basketball games go by pretty quick. It's not like the game is going to be 4 hours long. The action will be up tempo. And I mean, we didn't really have any other choice. There's no Mariners today. There's no Dodgers today. There's no Stanley Cup today. So it was either, doing a baseball game with the Angels and Astros or doing this. So, and I didn't really mind. I could have done the Angels and Astros. There's enough good players there, with Ohtani and Trout where I could have been entertained, but might as well just try to do a little bit, Shaq is there. Nice. Your mom looks a lot like me. Yeah, a couple of hotties. Thank you. And we're going to get going here in just a second. And weather was pretty good here today in Oregon. I try to go to that river spot with Paisley every day. And you know what? It really does help. I always try to end up watching, Discovery, History, or Nat Geo with something with water, in the background. And psychologically, it's just so healing. And, luckily I have a spot with Paisley where we can walk 5-10 minutes and go down to this river spot and just, you got to cut through some of the brush to get down to it, but then you can kind of, chill out in the grass right there. And there's like a bunch of flowers and bushes, and Paisley can roam around and eat some branches and, look at the ducks that are going by or people that are kayaking and whatnot. So. All right, baby. NBA Finals 2023, Miami Heat, Denver Nuggets, game number 1, Jimmy Butler versus the Joker. Let's get it. Jameson in the building. How are you? What's good, man? See right there, that coach is already getting them prepared. Because like game 1 is the game where they can punch you in the mouth. And again, it's like a lot of times you don't necessarily think a team like Miami, because they are the underdog, or like the Florida Panthers. That's the key in that series too. Florida Panthers, if they can win one of the first 2 games at home or both, against Vegas Golden Knights, then the series changes. At that point, the underdogs are underdogs, but they are here. You have a chance. You're there. I honestly feel the Florida Panthers have a better chance than the Miami Heat to be the Cinderella story at the end. If Miami had one other guy, I know they had Oladipo hurt, and I know Tyler Hero is hurt, and he might come back for game 2. But if they had one other big name guy, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, and one other, better player in that starting lineup, then maybe I'd feel a little better. But the way that Jamal Murray, very underrated, there's certain guys in the NBA that we need to give a little bit more love to. And I definitely feel that Jimmy gets the love, and we know how good he is. But Jalen Brunson, right? Jalen Brunson, the Dallas Mavericks, never should have took him away from Luka. Should have kept him there, and we've seen what he was able to do. And I think the other guy is Jamal Murray. Those are the 2 most underrated point guards or guards in the NBA right now, in my opinion. Oh, look at that. Golly, 2-0 Nuggets. Jamal Murray is insane. Obviously plays better at home than on the road, but I don't think anyone ever anticipated Jalen Brunson or Jamal Murray being this good. But when you're playing with the Joker and you're playing with an unselfish team, he doesn't have to force it. He doesn't have to be a ball hog. He knows the Joker is the best player on the team, and this is the 1-2 combo they have. And front rim. Very unselfish squad, the Denver Nuggets, and that's why I feel that they can obviously not only win it this year, but they should be able to win a couple championships with the Joker. He's that good. It's like the modern day Spurs, but they're just They don't have a coach as good as Pop, and they don't have a bench as good as the Spurs did back then, or probably even a better starting lineup. It's not like they got Parker, Ginobili, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, but this is the closest thing to the Spurs or the Pistons that we've seen in a long time, where they're gritty, it's defense, it's rebounding, unselfishness. Oh, air ball. But Aaron Gordon is a little bit better than I think people anticipated on this squad. Caldwell Pope, Michael Porter Jr. So it's really going to come down to those three, not necessarily Jamal Murray and the Joker. Jump shot is no good. We're knotted up at 2. Even though on my ESPN app says 4-2, even though they haven't scored yet. There it is. How the hell is ESPN, right? I got cable. I'm watching it live. How the hell has ESPN got the score up on their page first before I have a live feed through cable? I'm not watching a link. What the hell's going on here? Jimmy Butler contained at the top of the key. See if they'll do a little pick and roll with the switch. Ooh, Jimmy for 3. 5-4 Miami. Finley in the building. What's good? Bang! There we go. Aaron Gordon. 6'5" Nuggets. And that's the best thing about the Joker's game, his passing. It's not the dunking. It's not the three-point shooting. I mean, obviously some of the shots are amazing, but really what takes Joker's game to the next level, like Larry Bird, is the passing. Because you don't assume a big, tall white dude like that, Caucasian or European, that can pass like a point guard. And that's really what took Larry Bird's game to the next level, the passing and the basketball IQ. And same thing with the Joker. Unstoppable. And 1. But I do think Miami will play Denver tough. They're riding some momentum. And like I said, they're not afraid. And they already know they have to be able to play smart basketball, limit the Joker, right? And they have to be able to try to steal one of these first 2 games, if not the first 2. And they probably know that this is not the Celtics, that they're not going to go in there and be up 3-0 against the fucking Denver Nuggets, especially when the Joker is the best player in the world right now. Look at that pass. Unbelievable. It's like having a Peyton Manning at point guard, just, bloop, just right over the top. And there's nothing that anybody can do about it. Next free throw is good. 8-7 Nuggets. 8:50 left in the first quarter. And I want to be able to see what kind of isolation Miami does here. Can't have too much, one-on-one against the Nuggets too. That's not going to be the way that you beat Denver. The way that you beat Denver is you go at the Joker, you post up Adebayo and you try to get him in foul trouble. That would be the game plan if I was running the team, and it was Spoelstra. I'd be like, we got to go inside and try to get the Joker with 2 fouls or 3 fouls as soon as possible. And as soon as that happens, that's when the game will open up and then you can take advantage. But as long as he's in there, you're fucked. So nice little pick and roll, no good. Rebound by Gordon. They're going to do a little pick and roll here with the Joker. Porter Jr. for 3. Offensive rebound by Gordon. And Gordon, like I said, Porter Jr. is more valuable offensively, but I think Gordon overall is more valuable on just the Denver Nuggets itself with the rebounding aspect and the defense. 8-7 Nuggets. Both teams shooting 3 for 8. Just trying to feel each other out here in the NBA Finals. And again, this isn't the social media finals, the Celtics and the Lakers. This is just the gritty basketball finals. Probably not the most highly rated, but I still think people are intrigued. They assume that Denver is going to win in 6. Could be as much as, Denver in 4, Denver in 5. But there's always a belief that maybe Miami can hang, with Denver. But I just think they're too small. Their bodies are not big enough to hang with them. And they may say the same thing about Florida Panthers against Vegas. Their defensemen are 6'2" to 6'6". Aiden Hill's 6'4" at goalie. It's going to take a crazy, miracle performance for the Panthers and the Miami Heat to, finish off the Cinderella story in the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals. Jumper, no. Oh, it rolls in. Nice shot. 12-9 Nuggets, 7:10 left. Let's get to 100 and donos. Let's do it. And like for me, obviously I would prefer, NFL and some of these other sports to the NBA. But what I can tell you, when something is important and the game is on the line and it's meaningful, then that's really what will spark my interest. What are we talking? Is this the Eastern Conference Finals, Western Conference, NBA Finals, and at that point, I think most people can get at least somewhat, interested in it just to see how it plays out. That was a great pickup for the Denver Nuggets with the Aaron Gordon. There we go, 14-9, and that's exactly how you want to be able to set the tempo. Joker doesn't need to shoot it all the time. He could be a facilitator. Hell, sometimes they got the Joker bringing up the ball as point guard. It's fun to watch, man. It's amazing, to be able to see someone built like that. And then obviously Michael Porter Jr. has been hurt for the last few years, but this year a little bit more healthy, and he is obviously their third scoring threat. But for me, I like the defense and the rebounding by Gordon, and he may be more valuable for them moving forward in the series to be able to have the Joker, Aaron Gordon, and then Jamal Murray on the outside. And then anything that they get, through Caldwell Pope and Michael Porter Jr. is just is a bonus. So.
When we were a motorized bicycle company, they said that's fine for the streets, but you'll never win a race. They said motorcycles.
Let's go, baby. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Thursday. 14-9 Nuggets. And then let's take a quick look at I was going to try to keep up with the Angels and the Astros just because that's the only other matchup that's on right now. If you're looking for another thing to watch, if you like watching more than one thing at once, like I usually do, it's on FS1. So if you're looking at Angels, Astros, if you're just looking for another thing to have in the background, that's what we got going on here. Let's look at the lineup. Altuve, Pena, Alvarez, Bregman, Tucker, Abreu, Jolks, Myers, and Diaz. Ooh, so it looks like they're starting to get their lineup somewhat healthy. Oh, look, Altuve batting .314. But we already know that he's been out for quite some time, and he had that broken wrist through the WBC. Nobody batting 300. Altuve, .314. Okay. And let's look at what they got here. Ward, Trout, Ohtani, Drury, Thias, Renfroe, Urshela, Walsh, Neto. Ohtani has been crushing it too. So I saw a highlight of him crushing a home run last night. Holy shit. The way that the ball sounds off the bat when Ohtani goes yard is ridiculous. It's like Aaron Judge. Like you hear it and it sounds like 3 times louder than a normal home run. Like it sounds like it went out of the stadium. Pretty wild. So we got a 1-1 game in the top of the third for the Angels and the Astros. Obviously, me being a Mariner fan, I'm always going to keep up with the division with the two most hated teams for us, Houston and the Angels, just because the Angels love to fight us, and the Astros are the Astros. And then the matchup I like, watching a lot that I don't really have the hate for is the Yankees. I mean, that one is always going to be tough for us. And we only ended up winning 1 out of 3, but we are going to get Yankees Dodgers tomorrow. So we'll get the Yankees, and we'll get my dad's team, the Dodgers, and then we're playing the Rangers tomorrow. So I'll be focusing on those tomorrow, and we're probably going to end up doing the Dodgers and the Yankees. I mean, Severino and Kershaw going at it. Anytime Kershaw's pitching, I like to pay homage and for my dad and to be able to do as many Dodger games as I can for him. So. Thank you for helping out on the Twitter side, Sarah. I appreciate that. Look at the old school Nuggets. I remember when I was slanging Mitchell and Ness jerseys way back in the day. Some of the old school Nuggets jerseys. They've had some pretty dope jerseys. I like the old ones. The old ones. I mean, the newer ones definitely aren't as stylish. Like the Dikembe Mutombo ones where they had the mountain in the front. Those are incredible. They used to have the Alex English, if anyone remembers him back from like the 80s and 90s. But yeah, one of those like old school names. Not everyone's going to know who the fuck Alex English is unless you watched. Uh-oh. Yeah. Well, I think everyone is more excited about that for us. So.
Mario's call for the foul. Surprised they're not looking at that. I agree with you. They're exposed to pleading his case now.
What did they call that a foul right there? It's like incidental contact, wasn't it? It's kind of like ran into each other. Oh, shit. Adebayo with a rebound dunk. Whoa! 14-11 Nuggets. Okay. That'll get you going. Gordon at the top of the key. Jamal Murray. Pick and roll with the Joker. Jumper. God, he's smooth like butter. So Murray out there playing corner. Yeah, no kidding, huh? 16-11 Nuggets. And I like underdogs too, and underdog stories. So everyone obviously on the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler's career as a whole as an underdog, I love that. But I also like seeing, guys like Caldwell Pope, that, was a role player. And then he, was on the Lakers and kind of bounced around for a few different teams, with the Pistons and found a home. Michael Porter Jr., they've drafted him based off future potential, and they're finally reaping the benefits of it. Nice shot right there. Miami from deep. 16-14 Nuggets. But Jamal Murray, I feel like that is a really good story because I don't think anyone anticipated him turning out to be this good at all. But that's the reason why the Nuggets are here at this point. Nice fucking pass. Unbelievable. Wow. I'm telling you, for big men, there's nobody better at passing than the Joker as a big man. Basketball IQ is just through the fucking roof. 18-14 Nuggets. What a good fast-paced first quarter. 4:45 left in the first quarter. And I love the unselfishness, with the squad. Look at that. You can't stop them. Gordon, you know what Gordon reminds me of? A younger version of poor man's Blake Griffin. It's a guy that, he's not great, you know what I mean? But he can, bully you down, down low with his body size and get a lot of cheap layups and dunks. So it kind of reminds me of like, when Blake Griffin not necessarily was in his prime, but starting to slow down a little, but still had game. That's what I feel you're getting from Aaron Gordon. It's definitely helping them out. Nice board. I mean, Gordon should be able to average, easily more than 10 rebounds every game in the series. Shit, there'll be some games where he probably has 10 boards in the first quarter. Up and under. Let's go. That's the X factor right there. X factor. They don't got an answer for him. Nice jumper to silence the crowd. 22-16 Nuggets. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right, we got our first dono of the day from my boy Kip. $20 holla. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Kip. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. Thanks, Kip. I appreciate you. You just sent me a little DM there and whatnot. I appreciate you, man. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, bang. Appreciate you, brother. Kip Hayes with the 20. Thank you so much, bro. Bang! Celebrities in attendance. H.E.R., Peyton Manning, Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, Justin Simmons, Nathaniel Ratliff of the Night of Sweats, Ken Jeong. They spelled Ken Jeong's name wrong. Jeong. It's my boy, Dr. Ken. Nice jumper. 27-20 Nuggets. Yeah, and it's not like Bam Adebayo is not a good player. I mean, he could end up being an all-star or all-star bench kind of player, but the problem is, it's like when you're going against someone like the Joker, unless you have someone like Embiid or or maybe Giannis, I mean, it's not going to be a fair matchup. And even with that being said, the Joker can match up with anyone. I think, Joker would fuck up Embiid. Giannis might be the toughest test just because they're both big bodies and whatnot. But, I mean, to me, those are the two best players in the NBA, the Joker and Giannis when they're both healthy. But even though Embiid ended up getting the MVP, so.
YouTube TV is more than cable or less than cable. And more is an especially good thing to have if you love basketball. We just hope you can handle this much of it.
Yeah, but I agree. 27-20, Nuggets are up by 7. At least it's been entertaining and it's fast paced. And like I said, usually when it gets down to the very, very end, then I can flip the switch. And like I said, I just want the regular season to be better. You know what I mean? But if I'm always going to compare it to the 80s and 90s, then it's never going to be like that. But the further that we get into the finals, and the further that we get in the playoffs, the more interested I get. So when we're in the first round, unless the Blazers are in it, maybe I'm not really as excited, but I usually get a little bit more interested in the East-West finals and then especially the NBA finals. So. I mean, I might complain about the NBA compared to what it was in the 80s and 90s, but, I'm still watching. I'm still reading. I'm still keeping up. Yeah, it'll be interesting what they end up doing. He's gone through 3 different hosts now. So we'll see what happens with that. But all our shows, either favorite or just shows that we would occasionally watch, are all going down the shitter. Good Morning Football. Bye, Nate. Bye, Kay. There goes that show's chemistry. Bye-bye. Right? Pat McAfee should go, Pat McAfee show going to ESPN where he can't swear anymore. Well, there goes that show. It'll still be decent. And it'll still be one of the better shows to watch for sports, but it just won't be as authentic as it was. And that's what made the show good. Is that authenticity of him just wearing the tank tops and being real and swearing and just, not being a bullshitter and fake. Right. And now Skip and Shannon, Shannon is dipping. And, I don't know, man. I guess some people like to, watch people argue and whatnot, and it's not like Get Up and all these other shows are good. Colin Cowherd had Joy Taylor, and then she left. You know what I mean? So it's like every time you start to kind of like a group of people in a show, then they either get mad or get fired, or they say, fuck you, I leave, and I don't want to work with these people anymore, and they want to do something else. But I'm telling you, the state of sports talk is in shambles. There's better people that are on, like YouTube and Twitch than there are on TV and on podcasts. It's crazy to think that, you'll have, better content from people that aren't necessarily quote unquote famous, but it's just how it is. There's just a lot of people that could do a better job. I mean, unless you like people yelling and screaming and, coming up with the same 4 or 5 horrible takes. Let's Skip and Shannon. Let me give you the breakdown of their show. Let's talk about LeBron James and how much we love him. That's Shay, right? No matter what. Skip with the Dallas Cowboys, how much he loves them and how they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. Everything is going to go back to, the Dallas Cowboys, LeBron James, Baker Mayfield. We can sprinkle his name in there from time to time. And then that's about it. And then you just have different opening questions that lead back to the Dallas Cowboys, LeBron James, Baker Mayfield, or the same 4 or 5 topics. It's lame. It's not good, man. Like I can't enjoy fake news, a fake show, fake topics, fake everything. Jumper is no good. And, Shannon can, find a way to work with someone else. I better not, what it would be. I don't want to even think about this, but since Skip is, not having Shannon anymore, what does that mean? Are we going to have Stephen A and Shannon? We better not have a fucking show like that, because that's going to be essentially the same thing, except, instead of a lousy old cranky white dude, you're going to get a obnoxious brother who it just screams and yells and is wrong all the time. And Stephen A, maybe the most annoying person in sports with him and Skip. And I think Stephen A is even more annoying. I can handle more Skip than Stephen A. And Skip is really annoying to me. And Stephen A is like, makes my ears and eyes bleed. But I wonder if, I don't know if Shannon would want to go down that route. But I guess whatever, money talks. If they get money, then, whatever happens. But I mean, like I said, if it's legitimate, arguments and good sports takes, but it just seems like it's the same 4 or 5 things that they end up circling back and going back to the LeBron James, how he's in love with them, Shannon Sharp, and, Skip with this Dallas Cowboy bullshit. It's, I don't know. It just, I can't watch it, man. I got a lot of other things that I would rather read and do film study and watch. And like I said, I don't even really have like my go-to program anymore. It was, The Herd a little bit when Joy was there, a little bit with Good Morning Football. Kay and Nate were there with Schrager the Weasel and Kyle Brandt. I liked that for a while. That was my favorite. Pat McAfee show was good. But now it's like, I don't even have a show I can watch on a consistent basis anymore. Like, I mean, it'll just be the McAfee show until they get to a point where it's completely changed. But at least now, until they go on ESPN, they won't be able to swear. So it will be like a watered down version. It'll be like RVD coming into WWE from ECW. I want to see Van Daminators and Van Terminators where he's throwing the chair, doing a back kick, and the chair flies 10 feet in the crowd. That's ECW. Then he went to WWF, and it was like, you couldn't even do that move. So it's like you still got RVD there, but it wasn't the same. Nice pass and a steal. 29-20. Nice finish to end the first quarter there with Denver. Deep shot. No good. End of the first quarter, 29-20 Nuggets. That is kind of crazy how all our favorite shows now are like gone. Like there's nothing there anymore. Like one after another after another. It's just crazy. Oh, Acho is terrible. He is like a younger version of Stephen A. It's like he pretty much thought to himself, I'm going to talk just like Stephen A. I'm going to be annoying and loud and not make any points and never be right. He is, to me, as far as like the new breed of sports talk, Acho is the worst. Like, cause he's never right. He's annoying. He's really loud and obnoxious. You know what I mean? It's like him and Stephen A. Or it's like if Stephen A. had a son, that's what you would get. You know what I mean? It's terrible. I like when I see him on the TV, I literally have to change a channel like immediately. Shannon enjoyed the NFL crew. Like what? Like on CBS? Like joining the CBS crew? Because I couldn't see him joining the Fox crew, but the CBS crew, I could see that. Oh, what's good, Crystal? What's good? How are you? Oh, nice. Oh, I know. Yeah, a lot of them are haters as well. And it's never Herbert's fault. You know, it's always the O-line and the defense. Like if you actually go back and look at the numbers, you know, a lot of the blame, you know, wants to go to Herbert, but it's always coaching and not having a defense that can't stop the run. I mean, there's no way they should have lost to the Jags. But again, when you have a shitty coach, you have Anthony Lynn and you have who you have now, they're not good coaches. You know, like you need a Sean Payton kind of guy to help Herbert out. You need a better offensive line and a defense that actually steps up. The defense has names, but they always choke. You know, they I don't know. Maybe Herbert needs to go to a new team after his deal is up, because I just don't know if you're going to be able to get to a Super Bowl with that team. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're hoping that he stays his whole career there, but I don't want them to waste his career either. You know what I mean? I mean, hell, I'll take Herbert on the Bucs and 3, 4, 5 years if that would be an option. But I mean, that would be kind of a dream come true. But it's definitely going to be easier for like Mahomes and Josh Allen and even Burrow with the Bengals, But it shows you, like, even with as good as Burrow is in the Bengals, there is no guarantee. We assume the Bengals will make the Super Bowl again, but it's so competitive there. It's like you already had the Bengals go, but they didn't win. Will they go again? You would think so, because Burrow's that damn good, right? As long as the coaching and the O-line and the defense are halfway decent, right? Josh Allen and the Bills, once they get a starting running back that's actually worth a shit and a good defense, maybe Josh Allen can live up to those expectations. And then otherwise, it's just Mahomes. And then obviously Herbert, out of those 4 quarterbacks, he's in the worst situation. The Chargers are a halfway decent team, but the coach is terrible. Defense doesn't step up. O-line always gets hurt. And then you got guys like, Eckler and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, and those guys are all great, but those guys are also injury prone, unfortunately, too. So they just need some healthy players. All right, let's go to the second quarter here. $29-20. It's been a good competitive first quarter. Nice rebound by Duncan Robinson. 29-20 Nuggets. Okay. All right, have a good one. Out of bounds. Good hustle there. I love that. You got to be able to have that effort. Lowry, deep 3, no good. Nice offensive board there. See if they do a little 2-man game. I got him on the wrist. Come on, that's a foul. Oh, nice. Heck yeah. All right, 29-21 Nuggets, 10:54 left in the second quarter. Second free throw is good. 29-22, Nuggets are up. It's pretty fast-paced. Nuggets crowd is into it. At this point, they don't need to be too rowdy. I mean, nice pump fake. Bang! 5 for 6 from the field. 32-22 Nuggets. I just don't know if the Miami Heat have anyone that can lock down Jamal Murray or the Joker for a series. That's the problem. Nuggets with the rebound. Kickball. Well, we talk about DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. He's got a list of teams that he wants to play with. He wants to play with a contender. So obviously, if the Eagles are interested, yeah, I imagine that would be a spot that he would consider. I know the Chiefs would be a no-brainer, with obviously Patrick Mahomes. So there'll be a few places for him. He could play with. I mean, it just depends on where he wants to go. And it also depends on how much depth they have at wide receiver for those positions at this point, too. 32-24. Nice corner jumper. What's up? I'm going to go grab Paisley here real quick.
It's their third three-pointer. Robinson is regaining his stroke here in these playoffs. I don't think you're going to see Miami so much when Jokic is in. With Robinson and that,
All right, I'm back.
they want to protect them in zone.
Nice little jump hook there. 37-27 Denver. I got Paisley in the room. We had to get her out of the bedroom. She gets like the zoomies and whatnot. So it's just like jumping up and down off the bed and doing circles in the room, running up and down the hallway, like full speed. We have like this like hallway with like the, like the wood floor. And so she'll just full speed into the bedroom, jump on the bed like 10 miles an hour, jump off the bed, run down, and then just fling herself onto the couch. And she'll do that back and forth, back and forth. Oh, my God. Michael Porter Jr. with a rebound dunk. Whoa. Jeez. Nice pass. Now, but the situation in the NFC with the quarterbacks, there's not very many good ones left. So Jalen definitely has an opportunity to showcase himself to be the number 1, number 2, or 3 quarterback in the NFC. And Jalen has an opportunity to be a top 5 or top 10 quarterback. And the higher, up the list, it will depend on really what the squad does. I mean, they did lose some pieces, and they've been drafting very heavy with Georgia players in the last couple years, but really the defense is going to be the problem. The offense I'm not really worried about. It's really the defense. And if they can't get the defense on point, then you're probably not going to be able to win, a Super Bowl. You got to be able to get that defense right. So it's a little bit of a flop there by Michael Porter Jr. It looked like he just went down on the floor like he got shot. That was like a LeBron James flop. We don't need that.
YouTube TV is more than cable for less than cable. And who doesn't like more? Just ask anyone who loves basketball. And they'll tell you, there's no such thing as too much of it. Watch more games at once with Moby on YouTube.
We'll throw up some Jalen Hurts here for the Kip and the fam, for the Hayes fam. Appreciate you guys.
There's a chance when we push that button, we destroy the world. We're in the race against Nazis.
But I always liked Jalen. I even told Eagles fans when they played the Buccaneers, I said that this is going to be the guy. And a lot of Eagles fans still wanted to question me, like, it's like, I don't have to be an Eagles fan myself to know who's going to pan out and who's not. Sometimes you just know. And at this point now, instead of being a poor man's Dak, now Dak is maybe a poor man's Jalen. It's like he actually surpassed Dak Prescott. And I'm not sure if a lot of people thought he would be able to do that, because still Dak is normally like a top 10 QB, top 10, top 12 usually. And now with Jalen has more upside. They just got to get that defense figured out. You got to have Hall of Fame players. You got to be like Aaron Donald with the Rams, or with the Bucks with Devin White and Levante David. You got to have defensive guys that are Hall of Fame guys. Not that, big play Slay and obviously some of the others that they've had, and Fletcher Cox, are definitely in the running. But, you can't go to the Super Bowl and have no sacks and no picks and think that you're going to win the game. Offense, was good, but the defense was shitty. That's just honest. You know what I mean? Like, I'm normally not wrong picking Super Bowls, and that was the first one that I was wrong in a long, long time. Just thought the Eagle defense would play better, and they didn't. So hopefully they can correct those issues. But here's a little Jalen Hurts love.
T-Mobile has a way. Introducing the Easy Unlock. Bring your AT&T lock phone, and T-Mobile will pay it up and give you one of the latest 5G smartphones free. Plus, next time you're upgrade ready, 2 years versus 3. You're free now.
Yeah, offensive line needs to stay healthy. Well, the big difference was getting A.J. Brown over there. Once you got A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith didn't need to be the number 1 anymore. That was too much pressure. And Devontae Smith is not even a true number one anyways. So for him to be able to just go into his natural role as like a 2, and then everything started to fall into place there. So we'll see how it goes. But even if they're not as good as they were maybe overall last year, the NFC is pretty weak. So it wouldn't be shocking if the Eagles get back to the NFC Championship game again if they can stay healthy. So there's no loyalty anymore in sports. You know what I'm saying? But then there's no guarantee that the Chiefs, win a ring. Again, we didn't know, if they could win it with Tyreek or without him. They were, but now they don't have Eric Bieniemy. So can they win it without him? That'll be the next test, with some of the play calling. So, and obviously that's a pretty big part of a team, Eric Bieniemy. So, we'll see what he does with the Texans and whatnot, but 39-31 Nuggets. Deep 3, no good. Lowry with the rebound. Nuggets up by 8 with 6:50 left in the second quarter. All right, take care. Nice shot by Lowry. Yeah, I don't think LeBron ain't going to fucking Sixers. (41-33). Bank shot by Adebayo is good. 41-35. So at least Miami is hanging around. They're not getting completely obliterated, which is good. At least it's still like watchable. You don't want to have it where it's like Denver's up by 20 already in the first half. Nice jumper. Jamal Murray, 21-foot pull-up jump shot is good. 43-35. How's that Angels-Astros game going? Still 1-1 in the top of the fifth. Nice pass. Adebayo. Nice pass. Unselfish. Basketball right there. That was beautiful basketball by the Miami Heat. 43-37 Nuggets. Nice pass. Bang! (46-37 Nuggets). 5 minutes left in the second quarter. Adebayo. No good. In and out. The Joker's like, I'm the fucking point guard. Porter Jr. Murray. Nice pump fake. $20. Let's get to a hundo. 80 to go. When's the last time you've seen like one of the best players in the NBA be like unselfish? Like doesn't care about the points, rebounds, and assists. He just knows that they're gonna come no matter when. He can get everybody else involved. That's what makes this team dangerous. Even with the Bucks and Giannis, we've seen these guys kind of like take shot after shot after shot. Yeah, and I get it. Sometimes the rest of the teammates, maybe are a little cold. But with that being said, the Joker really doesn't get to that point where he has to shoot like 10 shots in a row. I like that about him. 48-37 Nuggets. 4:35 left in the second quarter. Pretty good up-tempo first half. Nice pass. Robinson, layup, no good. Jokic with the rebound. He said, I'm a point guard. Murray. Oh, that's a foul.
fouled on Robinson. Gordon comes back in. Jokic. Alonzo closes out.
Murray, two-man game with the Joker. Now, don't shoot that. Murray falling away, no good. Come on, Murray, you're better than that, brother. 3:50 left in the second quarter, 48-37 Nuggets. Crowd starting to get a little loud there with the defensive chants. Butler to Strus for three, no good. Rebound by Gordon. Joker all the way with the layup is good. 50-37 Nuggets.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man film ever made. It's an awe-inspiring masterpiece. 5 stars.
Hi, Paisley.
Spider-Man Across the
Hi.
Spider-Verse. Chaos is coming. Guardian. I dare you to defy.
50-37 Nuggets. 3:20 left in the second quarter. Rodiggity in the building. What's good? Just trying to keep up with a little bit of this. And then the Angels and the Astros. Angels up 2-1. Not a whole lot going on in sports today. You know, not a whole lot on the wrestling side. Not a whole lot going on, obviously, with the Stanley Cup, because we got to wait until Saturday for that. So no Mariners and Dodgers for me to do either, for me or my dad. So, you know, figured we ended up doing at least a couple of these NBA Finals games, and then probably Dodgers and Yankees tomorrow, which will be kind of exciting. And then the Mariners and Rangers play. So I'll watch that, and then we'll probably do Dodgers-Yankees stream tomorrow night around 7 Pacific time. And then Stanley Cup on Saturday, and then we'll figure out what we're going to be doing on Sunday. I got to actually look at the Stanley Cup schedule. Let me look at that real quick. I haven't looked at it. So let's look to see what we got going on here. So Saturday will be the first game of the Panthers and Golden Knights, and then game 2 is Monday. All right, perfect. So we'll figure something out for Sunday. So we'll end up doing NASCAR, Cup Series, or baseball, more than likely. So, but so far so good for the Denver Nuggets. I'm not really too surprised. I mean, like I said, they're a defense rebounding team first. You know, Aaron Gordon, 12 points, 5 rebounds. Great start for him. Michael Porter Jr., 10 points, 5 rebounds. Great start. The Joker doesn't have to be a ball hog, right? 8 points, 8 assists, 3 rebounds. And he's not even, you know, being a ball hog. It's just, it's incredible, right? Jamal Murray with 13, 3, and 2. Caldwell Pope with 2 points. So, and on the flip side, Jimmy Butler was 7, Martin was 0, Vincent with 5, Strus was 0, Zeller was 0 with this lineup. So it's gonna be very difficult to beat this tandem. I just don't see it happening.
Tonight's throwing moment driven by Nissan. With the 41st pick in the 2014 NBA draft, the Denver Nuggets select Nikola Jokic from Sombor, Serbia.
You just never know with those foreign-born players, man. People didn't realize how good Luka was going to be, Dirk was going to be, the Joker was going to be.
This upside appears limited by this lack of explosiveness. Lisa Salters asked him the other day, what do you think about those early scouting reports? He said,
All right, Paisley's here laying down by my feet. She misses Dad.
embrace it and realize what you're
All right, here we go. Let's see if the Miami Heat can go on a little bit of a run here. They need to get this under 10 points if possible by halftime. That would benefit them tremendously. Martin, no good. Murray with the rebound, outlet. Porter Jr., no good. Loose ball, rebounded by the Heat. Jimmy Buckets with the rebound. 50-37, Denver. 2:50 left in the second quarter, and it's actually been entertaining. I'm not like, oh, I need to turn this off. So that's a good sign. You know what I mean? Especially with the Nuggets, even though they're a defensive first, rebounding first type of team, when they start going on the fast break, and they're almost impossible to stop at that point. You know, once they get their offensive flow going, you're fucked. You know, because they already play good defense and rebound, and then once they start flowing on offense, it's like, how do you even match up to this? Vincent for deep is good. 52-40, Denver. 2:12 left in the second quarter. Caldwell Pope coming off the screen, no good. Rebound by Zeller. Caldwell Pope with the deflection. 1:51 left in the second quarter. Denver up by 12. And again, the only way the Miami Heat are going to be able to compete in the series too is if Martin ends up being a factor. Martin and Vincent have to be a factor in the series if they want this to go 6 or 7 games. Otherwise, it's going to go 4 or 5 if we don't see Martin and Vincent show up all series. Facts. In and out, no good. Murray at the top of the key. Crossover. All the way. Rejected at the rim. Here we go. 2-on-2. Fast break. Adebayo stops in his tracks. Wide open 3. No good. All right, we're down to 1:15 left. Strus, 0 for 7, 0 for 6 from 3. Well, guess what, Max? That probably means you should not shoot from fucking deep, dude. Murray. This motherfucking guy is good, baby. Jamal Murray with a jumper, 54-42. Nuggets. And as much as I love Jimmy Butler and the underdog story, and it'll be pretty cool to have the Joker get his first ring, just to get it out of the way so people can start giving them respect. And then, you know, maybe he'll get 1 or 2 more after this year to add to his collection. And then we can look at the Joker kind of like we look at like Tim Duncan or like one of the big guys, you know? Bang! You know, it'd be really cool is if we could actually get Luka and the Joker together. As far as like an international duo. I mean, obviously we don't see that happening because it's not like Cuban is going to let go of Luka and they're not going to get rid of fucking the Joker. But could you imagine those two on the same team? That would be exciting. That'd be like one of the best 1-2 combos in the league. 2 of the top 5 players on the same team. And I think they would play really well together too. You know, I don't think Luka would have to, you know, he would be more of an offensive passer in the offense. But I also would love to see Giannis play with Dame. And I know that's not going to happen unless Dame leaves and ends up on the Bucks or something like that. And it's not like I can assume Giannis is going to ever come to Portland. That's not happening. But we all can dream, right? Could have been better if we would have got Wemby in the draft. Then I would have been fine. Joker with a spin move. Wow. Damn, he's good. That was Tim Duncan to a fucking T. You can't fucking stop this guy. At halftime, no good. 59-42. Nuggets. They're kind of good. And it's not like Miami played like shit and they're down by 17. So it shows you really how good they are.
All these years for their first finals. Game 1 so far so good. 10 assists in the first half.
10 assists. Like, when's the last time you got the best player in the world that doesn't want to be like the man at home and show off and then ends up having that kind of stat line? And that's why they're going to end up winning the championship. You know, this guy is so unselfish like Tim Duncan. It's just ridiculous. You know, 10 points, 10 assists. 3 for 3 shooting. When's the last time you've seen a superstar take 3 shots in the first half, being the best player in the world? I mean, if there's not another reason to like this guy, it's just fantastic, man. He may not look like a baller, but we already know damn well that he is. Jamal Murray with 18 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds, 8 for 12. You ain't stopping that. And then obviously with the Joker, 3 for 3 shooting, 3 rebounds, but he's got 10 points and 10 assists. That's just wild. Get the fuck out of here. Crazy. Ooh, tacos. Nice. All right, I'm gonna go make sure that Paisley has food, and I'm gonna step outside here for just a second, and then I'll be back here in a couple minutes before we end up starting halftime. So that way I can get this stuff done. It'll take a couple minutes, and I'll be back before the third quarter starts.
Halftime in Denver, Jalen Rose, who's making buckets, brought to you by KFC Chicken Nuggets. It's been Jamal Murray with a spicy first half. Absolutely 8 for 12 from the floor. Green, 18 big points. You see him doing it in an array of fashion. But it worked in that first half. Nuggets by 17 halftime coverage, 60 seconds.
Let that breath fill you up. Transformers: Rise of the Beast. Only in theaters June 9th. Barkley Brother Ruffles.
Hey, Charles.
What the? It's barbecue time.
Nah, Chuck's always been a little twisted.
Asia? Jason? Everybody knows you love cheese, old man. So he's 6. Let's do this. Do you like cheese? Oh, ouch. What are you calling old, Mr. 20 seasons? 20 and counting. Well, Cal not getting picked today. No!
Ruffles, choose the flavor that speaks to you.
I'll be back for you, Tatum.
Yes.
You know what it is. It's taco. Why did I get bleeped? Because this is a commercial and there's a trademark on Taco. I mean, how can someone own Taco? Come on, man. Everyone should be able to say and celebrate Taco. 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 What are we doing? Thankfully, someone is doing something about it. No more trademark, no more bleeping. Starting right now. Taco.
Tourists. Tourists that turn into scientists. Tourists taking photos that are analyzed by AI. So researchers can help life underwater flourish.
Welcome to Claim to Fame.
12 contestants will compete to keep their famous family a secret.
I think he's related to Janet Jackson, Simple Alvaro, and Hathaway.
Your celebrity relative is All Claim to Fame premieres June 26th on ABC. Welcome to the MetaQuest halftime.
In their first ever NBA Finals game, the Denver Nuggets have a 17-point halftime lead. Here against Miami, Mike Greenberg, Michael Wilbon, Jalen Rose, Stephen A. Smith is doing his special broadcast on ESPN2. Let's take a look at tonight's Head in the Game, which is brought to you by MetaQuest. And Wilbon has been Nikola Jokic doing it his way, dropping dimes in that first half.
Only 3 shots, Greeny, but 10 assists. And Denver shooting 60%. Once again, dominating the game. In this case, without scoring at all.
The combination is always when your best player is the most unselfish. And usually when a big guy has a mismatch, he tries to overpower the small guy and get you a bucket. The Joker is so intelligent and so patient, he'll take his time and he'll find Brown in the weak side corner for a 3. He'll wait on the post and get Jamal Murray a flare screen at the top.
4-3. Give way to Aaron Gordon, who's using his size and athleticism, ducking in against smaller players for layups and dunks. It's been masterful to watch. And Michael, it's been Jamal Murray, and it's been Aaron Gordon, it's been Michael Porter Jr. They're getting it from a lot of places. It's the worst nightmare for Miami. You have to defend all of that. And Joker, we know, is capable of third quarter coming in and scoring 12 or 15 points. But Aaron Gordon, every switch is to his advantage, Jalen. And the size, they're just not big enough to deal with anything with him. And if you're Aaron Gordon, that's what you got to do. In particular, open floor situations, you want to rim run, duck in on Struz, duck in on Vincent, duck in on Martin. By the way, for the Miami Heat, they're getting shots. Yeah, they're just missing them. Struz and Martin, they're combined 0 for 12. Bam Adebayo's being aggressive and scoring the ball, but they don't need Jimmy Butler to get over. Ought to have a dozen assists right now for the number of open shots he's produced. But what do we attribute all the misses? Is it fatigue? Is it the altitude? Is it the jitters of being in the finals? Why are they missing these easy looks? Well, they miss contested shots. They're missing open shots. And I think they'll still get those shots in the second half. And that will be the opportunity to get back in the game. It just underscores you can't shoot like that every night. And Miami's had so many nights like that where they did. They have in the playoffs, but not in the first half. So the Nuggets with a big punch right there, right before the end of that second quarter, extended the lead, which had hovered around 8 points and 10 points. And now it moves all the way to 17. What a half from Michael Porter Jr. and company. Denver out in front. We're back in a moment on ABC.
This halftime report is presented by MetaQuest, official VR headset of the NBA.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on a new vehicle.
One day, you might realize it's time to switch things up. When your sisters come to town and you say, "Mom, crushed it, little bro." When your friends come over to watch the game. No, when you go to the game. Total power move. When you realize your vacation days won't use themselves and it's time for an out of office. Wait. When you're with Amex, it's never a question of if you'll make it happen. It's when.
You are just one you. There are many versions of you. There's the one who's inspired by those that never give up. We're gonna be brave. We're gonna get out of this. The one who's a kid at heart.
What's that? What's that?
And the one who's a wild side.
I need a fire breather.
There are many sides to you. And every one of them deserves the best. Introducing Max, the one to watch.
Is that KFC chicken sandwich spicy?
Shamefully.
I do anything for one.
Got you one.
Order any KFC sandwich online to my second for Diablo 4 rewards.
So what if I get back in the old school cars?
State Farm's here to help.
What if we get back in the old school shorts?
Here comes the Phoenix Suns from Valentine, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies as we get ready for tip-off.
Two unstoppable teams. It's going to be one heck of a matchup, Jim.
And here's the opening shot. Even in all that fabric, the control is just incredible.
The good old days.
At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hydration drop-in. Rapid rehydration initiated. Unlock rapid rehydration to get you back in your game. Gatorade.
Chipotle's new chicken al pastor is fire on every level. Fresh chicken hot off the grill. A rich marinade, seared burrito peppers, and ground achiote balanced with a splash of pineapple. All combined for the right amount of heat. Chipotle's all-new chicken al pastor is what fire means flavor.
Welcome back to the MetaQuest halftime.
Bam Adebayo is 16, but his team is down 17. Gentlemen, how do they get back in it?
got to do some offensive reinforcements, in particular Jimmy Butler. Let's see if we get a great second half. Houston Martin, 0 for 12, can't last.
This halftime report is presented by MetaQuest, the official VR headset of the NBA. This presentation of the NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Turn right on to Western Avenue. You've reached your destination. One more.
One more time.
Turn right on to Western Avenue. ID Light and the all-electric ID4. It's the little things. It's a VW.
Two Whopper Juniors for just $5. 6 options, so much to offer. Barbecue, bacon, cheese to name a few. Only $5 and you get the big two. Hey, have it your way. Enjoy.
Did I tell you AD stayed here last week? I and Franco stayed here. No, Anthony Davis. The brow? Do you know why? The sheets. Ooh, the 8,000 thread count payment patent. See, the thing is, AD needs his beauty sleep, right? He's like, he wakes up and just drops 50. Just like, boom, for 300. Too much. 3 points. But look, this right here, this is AD's perfect sunwear. And I need a Franco's too. Yes, sure.
Myself, man, I'm a patchy rookie. And that's rookie of the year to you. You guys should best come for real. Until you go off-season challenge. I will win this contest. Let's do it, man.
Three athletic anomalies. Think you got what it takes to be race car drivers? Time to take a lap.
Is this 12 bucks time?
Gran Turismo, based on a true story, in movie theaters on the select. Watch the NBA Finals Sunday on ABC.
I guess he kind of fits. So aerodynamic. Stretch, but we.
All right, I'm back. All right, 59-42. 100% agree. Sometimes you got to be able to find that squad that'll know how to use you correctly. And when you're on a shit team with no hope and bad coaching, you know, sometimes there are gems, you know, diamonds in the rough, you know, that you just need to be able to find those key role players. And a lot of times it's not going to be necessarily, you know, you're going to get your best production, you know, from this, right? And from this. But to be able to win a championship, you know, you're going to need the Porter Juniors, the Gordons, and the Caldwell Popes to be factors. And if those guys are factors, then that ends up getting you over the hump. And that's really what we're seeing. So, but yeah, I totally 100% agree. And I know Porter Jr. can score more points a lot of times than Gordon. And they're both going to be able to get rebounds and whatnot. But just being that like presence down low, you know, Gordon's more of a defender. Porter Jr. is more of a scorer. So I think that, you know, a lot of times we just look at Porter Jr. as being the third best. But I think that Gordon probably has that. And then Porter Jr. right after him, and then Caldwell Pope. But still, you know, if you look at the supporting cast, it's not that crazy. Like Porter Jr., Gordon, and Caldwell Pope doesn't scream like, oh my God, they're so dominant. You know, it's not like they have a Dennis Rodman sitting out of these three pieces outside of Joker and Jamal Murray. But it also shows you how unstoppable Jamal Murray has been and how much better he's gotten in the last couple of years. And same thing goes for the Joker. We already knew he was a top 3 player, but maybe not giving him the MVP this year, you know, which is a regular season award. Right. And feeding off that emotion of being left out and proving to everyone in the world that, hey, you fucked up. I am electric. I am the best. And I think a lot of us already knew that going into this series. So, yeah, we just talked about this a little bit earlier, Goldstein. How's it going, David? I hope you're doing well. Hopefully everything's going good for your Philadelphia sports with the Eagles and the Sixers and the Phillies, etc. You know, all my favorite shows get wiped out. You know, it's like I like Good Morning Football. There goes Nate and Kay. You know, I like Colin Cowherd with Joy Taylor. There goes Joy. You know, I guess I can watch Skip and Shannon. And even though I don't really watch that show, but now obviously, Shannon is gone. It's like, and then Pat McAfee show is going to be going to ESPN. So no swearing. So every show that I kind of watched a little or a lot now has been broken up. And so I don't know, man, like I said, I think the time of sports talk, of people yelling and screaming and having bad takes, that might have worked 20 years ago, but this younger generation and then the OG sport fans that are over 40, we don't buy into that bullshit. It's like there's a lot of shit sports talk on TV. Like there's not really like can we honestly say that we have like 5 good shows that we can watch on TV or podcasts? And the answer is no. And we don't even have 5. Like we're lucky to find 1 or 2 that each person kind of likes, but I mean, the best one left right now might be the Pat McAfee show. But if you're going to go to ESPN and not swear and you're just making the money, then it's not going to be as authentic and great as it was, because that's why that show was so good. It was, Pat wearing the tank tops instead of having to dress up for the sponsors, him being able to say fuck or shit or that sucks. Those guys are ass. You know what I mean? Like that's what made it unique and special. And you're not going to get that anymore. So is it still going to be good? Yeah. Pat McAfee show will still be good, but it'll be like RVD being an ECW and being the best, right? And then going to WWE, WWF and be a watered down version of himself. Still okay to watch, but if you're a true fan of ECW, it was nowhere near the talent that he was able to showcase there. Facts. 59-46 Nuggets. We're in the third quarter now. Yeah, and also too, there's a few times where obviously they can have respect for each other, but I highly doubt that that they like each other that much. I mean, like I said, it's like Mike and Mike. You can have certain situations where you can be on screen, but that doesn't mean you're best friends or you hang out with each other outside the show. You might just have a common thing of sports. You know what I mean? And that's kind of how it goes. Like just because you record with someone doesn't mean you like them or that you're good with them outside of the show. And maybe things are good early, but then they develop, harsh and negative feelings as time goes on with jealousy, envy, or just hate, of the other person, of just being an asshole or being fake, And one for Jamal Murray. Skip and Stephen A. Yeah, because they were both loud and stupid, and they obviously had no common sense, and you know what I mean? And that's why that worked. They both screamed and yelled, and they're both stupid, and they both have bad opinions and bad takes. Skip and Shannon, it was like good guy, good cop, bad cop. Shannon was the one that was more realistic, you know what I mean? Besides his overly love for LeBron James, which was annoying. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's definitely bad takes that Shannon has had as well, but he was more of like the guy that was more realistic point of view. And then obviously Skip with this Dallas Cowboys are going to win the championship every year crap, So I don't know. For me, I could figure out a billion things that I would rather do than watch sports talk of any show. And like I said, Pat McAfee might be my favorite one left. And I don't even really watch it, honestly. And, I liked Good Morning Football before Schrager started stealing my shit, stealing my catchphrases and watching the show and stealing from me. You know what I mean? I liked it when Nate was there. He was my favorite, and I had respect for Schrager, as being like the nerdy guy, but if you can't even come up with your own stuff and you got to steal it from other people, then you're just obviously fugazi and fake. Kyle Brandt has got angry runs, so that's good. And Kay not only was hot, but she knew football, a little overly biased for the Saints and the Bears and whatnot, but that's fine. You know what I mean? They always have to have a pretty face matched up with a lot of the guys that they have on these programs nowadays, to have that diversity and whatnot. But, I don't know, man. Like there's no, and I never really was a big Skip and Shannon or Get Up. I mean, I did watch The Herd after Good Morning Football and Pat McAfee show and some of these others, but, no Joy Taylor, then, it's not going to be as good on that end. So long three, no good. 62-49 Nuggets. 9 minutes left in the third. Yeah, and that's why, like, I feel, like I said, you can get more entertainment and get more real talk, no BS, no bullshit, from people like me and people on YouTube and Twitch that are at least dedicated to the game, that actually do the time, care about their channel, and do a lot of reading and film study, and just can come up with better takes. It doesn't always have to be a hot take. Everyone is biased as fuck out there. It's just like, would be nice to be able to talk to people that aren't. And that's why it's crazy, because if you really think about it, out of all the people that you watch on YouTube or Twitch or TV or podcast, it seems like 99% are biased, whether they even realize it or not. It's very rare to be able to find someone like myself or a few of these others that are out there that don't have that bias no matter what. They can even criticize their own teams. That's what you're supposed to do. But for me, I try to put myself in the shoes of being a fan of every team. So to feel what it feels like to be a Nugget fan or a Heat fan and look at it from their perspective, and same thing goes with the Chiefs and the Eagles and any team that we're watching. So, and that doesn't surprise me one bit. I mean, obviously they're going to be overly biased for Philly everything, but at least you're going to get some real takes there. It's not going to be, oh, Dallas Cowboys are winning it all with, Skip, Well, he wrecked him, and obviously if they suspended Bubba and some other people, for a race, they have to be consistent. Now I know Chase is the golden boy, kind of like a Tom Brady in the NFL, where you highly doubt Goodell wants to suspend the golden boy, and if he does, he'll probably try to do as least as he can without getting criticized, right? But they're trying to keep it consistent, and I mean, I'm a Chase fan, but I think the suspension was valid. You know what I mean? Just because you're Chase Elliott doesn't mean you can get away with that. But also when you look at Ross, I mean, Ross could get suspended almost every fucking race, because whether he intentionally or non-intentionally wrecks someone, he's going to always be aggressive. I like him. Not a lot of people do. I do think he's going to end up winning a championship, but it's the closest thing to a Dale Earnhardt personality that I got that's racing right now since Tony Stewart is retired. So, I kind of gravitate towards those types of personalities, and I don't want him to, just be an asshole and wreck everyone. He is starting to own it a little bit more. And, if you're going to be a villain, be a villain, No, I don't think Morant will be suspended for the whole season. That's just too much money lost. The NBA is a business, so they're going to try to do whatever, community service, helping out with the young youth, whatever it may be, charity work, helping out underprivileged kids, Boys and Girls Club. Guns are bad. Don't be waving the gun on IG. Guns are bad. Obviously doesn't have the right type of friends around him. It's up to, him. He's got a lot to lose, but especially when you're young and you're a millionaire and you're rich, come here, honey. You want to snug with dad? Come here. Daddy's right here. You can't go in the bedroom, so you're gonna have to watch Nuggets and Heat with dad. Come here. We'll go for another walk later. I love you. Daddy loves you. I know, honey. I know. I love you. All right, 67-51. Game starting to already get out of hand. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not going to get the OJ Mayo. Yeah, we're definitely not getting that treatment. Yeah, John Morant, even though he's public enemy number one, Dylan Brooks probably won't be there. Bam Adebayo with a flush. Nice dunk by Bam. Bam, 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 bam. But yeah, John Morant still is one of the top 12 players in the NBA based off skill set. Not a good image for the NBA. Not a good look for Tennessee, Memphis. Obviously, young kids, regardless if they're black, white, Asian, Mexican. But for the young youth, it's not only are you, doing the gun flashing stuff on IG or on your friend's IG account, but you're John Morant. You're not, Jaw Garbage Man, a guy that's like the eighth guy on a team that barely gets any playing time. And, no gun usage is going to be a good look for any sport organization. But when you're actually one of the biggest superstars in the league, you would think you would have more common sense than that. But again, if you're hanging around, hood friends, and, this is their environment, and then, it's not a big deal to them. They don't got anything to lose. I mean, he's probably hooking them up with money and gifts and helping them out, living the best life, when you're a millionaire. But I mean, if you're a true friend, you got to be like, bro, we can't get you into the, we can still do this, but why are you doing it on camera? Do it in your own free time. You want to, you know what I mean? There's, nothing good is going to come out of it. If anything, it's just going to make you lose more money or get you suspended longer and longer. Tip is good. Yeah, but it's just crazy how sports talk is, I don't think the networks really understand what the kids and what the OGs want now in sports talk. ESPN hasn't understood what's going on for the last 20 years because they still think they're the king of sports entertainment, and they're not. You know what I mean? The ratings are absolutely terrible unless they have like the finals or the Stanley Cup on, Jokic for 3. Nice. I see you. Is this guy kind of good? He said, I'm kind of good. Yeah. Electric. 71-55. Like I'm saying, like if the Nuggets were playing against a team like the Pistons with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, that could be a team that could maybe win against the Nuggets with a team like that. But just with this Miami Heat team, there's just not enough pieces. It just seems like they're like a Lego piece away or 2 away. Maybe a really strong bench guy and another starter that's better than who they have. Someone better than Vincent Strus or Morton, and then maybe, and even with that being said, even if they had another guy, that doesn't mean that they're going to be able to beat the Nuggets. Paisley, stop whining. Stop whining, honey.
That wasn't me, said Hillary, who was only taking 347 steps today. I cycled here. Speaking of cycles, Mary's period is due to start in 3 days. How do they know so much about us? You're all sharing health data without realizing it. That's how I know about Kevin's ranch. Who's next?
Oh, man, that's good. You know what's really good when you haven't had in a long time since you were a kid? Capri Sun. Remember those Capri Suns that we used to bring to our lunch and whatnot? Man, the Pacific Cooler. I'm drinking one right now. Obviously, I'm trying to take a lot of the alcohol out, trying to lose weight and whatnot. So I used to do those Modelo Cheladas or Coronas with lime. I would usually do 2 to 6 beers every stream, and that was almost like every day. But that can get expensive, and then you can gain a lot of weight doing that. So I've tried to flip it to more of since I live in Oregon, dispensaries are everywhere. Everything's legal here. So I try to kind of lean more towards the dispensary rather than buying beer and booze and staying away from that. But, I do the Gatorade thing. I do the Snapple Mango Madness, and I do the Snapple Kiwi Strawberry. But I did get a message on Instagram from Whitey, and they said with those Modelo Cheladas, they had the mango and the pineapple. They have a brand new one called watermelon something. And I was like, ooh, I don't even know if they even have that, but I might have to, break the alcohol thing and maybe try one. I imagine it's really good. I even saw a review of a guy reviewing it and said that it tastes as good as the pineapple or the mango. So I was like, oh shit, well, that might be something, but the Capris are good. I haven't had them. But whenever I have a Capri Sun, then I think of Squeeze-Its. Unless you're born in the 80s or 90s, you have no idea what the fuck a Squeeze-It is or was. But that was something that was a big thing when I was a kid too. All right, 71-55. Nuggets. Are we surprised? No, we're not. I know some Miami Heat people, we're probably thinking that they could do it. But obviously, if you're going for the Miami Heat, then that means you didn't watch the Nuggets all year, or you highly underestimate how good the Joker is. If you think Jimmy Butler is good as the Joker, then you absolutely know nothing about basketball because you haven't watched all year, or you haven't watched in the last few years. Because obviously, we know, the Heat are a good Cinderella story. But let's not forget, you're an 8 seed. You lost the play-in to who did they lose to? They lose to the Hawks in the play-in and whatnot, and then they had to beat the Bulls to get in and whatnot. So it's they barely, got in, and they got hot at the right time. You know what I mean? But it's not the same kind of run and the same type of team to me as Florida Panthers, where I think that team is better, and that team has actually a shot to win it, even though Vegas would be highly voted for, highly betted on, just like the Nuggets. But I feel that the Florida team is the hottest team. And obviously Miami had some hotness, but if they were really, really hot, they would have won that game in Game 6 in Miami. So it's sometimes Jimmy Butler doesn't come to play in every big game. Yeah, they came to play in Game 7, but they could have easily got that shit done in Game 6. But it is what it is. They're still here. And hopefully for their sake, they don't get swept. But I would not be shocked if the Denver Nuggets sweep the Miami Heat. It's like, I get it. Miami's, they were good enough to get here, but they're just not good enough to win it all, in my opinion. They hopefully for Miami fans, they'll win 2 and it'll be Nuggets in 6. But the Nuggets are so fucking good, it could be Nuggets in 4. And I normally never would say that about any fucking team, even in the Warriors. I normally won't be like, the Warriors are so good, they're going to sweep. But when you have a defensive rebounding type team, that's like, a defensive team like in the NFL that's beast mode, like 2000 Ravens, 2002 Bucks, 85 Bears. Like, it's like, the offense, once they get clicking, then you're really fucked. But you're not really going to get a whole lot on this team. I've never seen a number 1 seed get fucking so disrespected all year. Like the Avalanche, they got that love. They were preseason number 1, and you knew they were going to win. Denver's been number 1 all year, the Nuggets, but I guess since they've never won it before, and the Joker is always, and that Nuggets team is always choked prior to this year, they just assumed it was. But then we had injuries with like Embiid and Giannis, and then it just felt a little weird that you might have like a surprise Cinderella team deep like the Heat, and this is what we have. But sometimes you just run out of gas, and sometimes you just match up against a team that's a hell of a lot better than you. Oh, watermelon enchilada. It looks, the color, the taste. I mean, based off the review guy that I saw, you know what I mean? And he's like a beer guy. And he said, and he drinks some, the Modelo enchiladas as well. So they give you, you have a few, you're not getting blacked out. You're getting a decent buzz. It tastes good, but it doesn't taste like you're having like a wine cooler. It's just a good taste. And like I said, I like doing Corona, with lime. That's one of my all-time favorites. But then obviously those chiladas are good too. And I like it how they give you a big-ass can. You get a good size. I don't know exactly how big the can is, 20 to 30 ounces, something like that. But it's definitely good. But I didn't even look. But I probably will go to Safeway tonight and I'll take a peek to see if they have the watermelon here in Oregon. But I know that's the brand new flavor. There we go. Martin for 3. 74-60. Nuggets up by 14 with 4 minutes left. I think, 0-1 Sixers has more talent than this Heat team, though. I mean, even if we're talking like Iverson and Eric Snow and whatnot, and not a lot of the people remember, a lot of those members on that team. I mean, obviously there's more name recognition with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo on this team, but yeah, that's a decent comparison. But was the 0-1 Sixers an 8 seed, though? And I don't know if they had to go through the struggles that the Heat went through with the play-in, we're talking 8 seed. No Oladipo, and no Tyler Hero. But it's like I don't give Miami any shot to win, in the championship. It's just there's no way unless the Joker or Jamal Murray get hurt. The only team that's going to beat the Denver Nuggets is the Denver Nuggets. But as far as like Vegas Golden Knights and Florida Panthers, the way that Florida has played, it makes you believe that, they can win a couple, but if they end up stealing the first 2 in Vegas, maybe they win it all, but they have to win those first 2 or at least split. And Florida's team is hotter than the Miami Heat as far as the hockey side is being Cinderella. And Embiid, Jokic, or Giannis, Jokic. Oh, man, that Pacific cooler. I didn't have a chance to go get more Snapples and stuff, so. Big 3. All right, 79-60 Nuggets. So anytime they think they're going to be able to come back, then you just find out that they're just too good. And that's the thing, for a defensive rebounding team to be able to put up the points that they do, pretty impressive as well.
Nice to meet you. I think I got something. How many of these should we eat? All of them?
You look different too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, you don't have to be a rocket scientist. I mean, to look at the roster and know that you're going to get the best player in the world. So yeah, they haven't done it before, but you can just sometimes tell, where the championship is going to go to. And, people still thinking Miami has a shot, then obviously they haven't been watching sports for that long. I mean, when you're going against the best player in the world, and then on top of that, Jamal Murray has been playing just as good as Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler. So it's like, if you're going to go for their big two versus Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, Joker and Jamal Murray all day, every day. I mean, look at Murray. Murray's got fucking 24 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds. So underrated, like Jalen Brunson on the Knicks. It's like you get these guys that are lower name guys, but, you give them an opportunity to shine, get good players around them, good coaching around them. And then you get a guy that normally would score 10 to 16 points a game. And then they go from that going to 20 to 40 points a game. And that's what you're getting out of Jalen Brunson. That went from the Mavericks to the Knicks to get that opportunity. And then now with Jamal Murray getting better and better and better year in, year out, and obviously deeper. And it looks like, to me, this could be the beginning of a little dynasty with the Nuggets. Of course, there's always going to be, rumors of, super teams coming together, but it just doesn't work. We saw how Kyrie didn't work with Luka. KD's coming to the Suns. They're going to win it all. It didn't happen. So sometimes you just have to have that stability. And if you end up having guys like the Joker or Giannis, that's going to put you in a very good position. You just have to stay healthy and hopefully stay hot at the right time. And then everyone is kind of looking up to those two teams. So, oh yeah. Well, also too, only having 3 coaches in like 20 years, 25 years with Pat Riley and then Van Gundy and then Spoelstra. I mean, how many organizations, have that kind of stability with 3 coaches in the last 20 years? Barely any, right? So that's a big part of it there. And they've been, they were mentioning they've been to the most NBA finals or deep finals appearances since like 2009. So, Miami, they get there, pretty often. And so, but it's just about, can you win it all, and no disrespect to Jimmy Butler, but he's no Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade had a little bit more of that Mamba mentality. You know what I mean? Obviously Jimmy Butler's a small forward, and obviously we know Dwayne Wade is, could be more of a shooting guard, small forward combo, but there's a little bit of a difference there. Still think Jimmy Butler's a fantastic player, and he could end up making it into, he's probably like a borderline Hall of Fame type of player, really, really good player. But, I'm not sure if he's Dwayne Wade level, and if for small forwards, he ain't really Charles Barkley level or LeBron level or Larry Bird level. He's special, but I'm not sure if I would, think Hall of Fame when I think Jimmy Butler. Now, if he can end up getting a ring before his career is over, then maybe that'll give him a better case for it, But I love his story, from being like homeless and, doing, having to go through a lot of trials and tribulations, living in the car, living on the streets, and then being able to make a name for himself in Chicago and bouncing around in Philly. And, they chose Tobias Harris over him. And sometimes that's a blessing. And then now you're on the Miami Heat. So 79-60. What's good, brother? How are you? Shout out to Cyberpunk for helping out with the Twitter. I appreciate that. 81-60, which I thought could happen. Let's see. The alternate stream idea was going to be the Astros and the Angels on FS1. It's the top of the 7th. Astros 4, Angels 2. Has there been any big home runs or anything? Drury homered, but no Ohtani or no Trout homers in this game. $81-60. Look at this. It's already over. But that shows you like how good Denver is and how well coached they are. And they're the only team in the NBA that's defense rebounding first. And then once that offense starts flowing for Denver, they're like unstoppable. They already play great defense. I mean, hell, you got a guy in the Joker who's like a power forward center that can play point guard, and he passes better than your point guard on your favorite team. You know what I mean? Like, think about that for a second. That they got a guy that can play power forward or center who brings the ball up the court half the time and can pass better than most point guards or shooting guards in the league. That's just insane. Denver is good. Yeah. Plus, you already know people are going to be hating on the Joker. But you got really nothing to hate about. It's damn good.
Extraordinary shape. He always looks exhausted with his mouth open as he's breathing. And even Eric Spoelstra was talking about, he goes, this guy's in incredible condition.
I love his stat line. You know what I mean? He's going to be like the modern day triple-double like LeBron, where it's like they're so good, you know, with like Giannis and LeBron. It's like when you get triple-doubles so often, then we start taking it for granted. You know, it's like you're not supposed to have 30, 20, and 15. That's not fucking normal. You know what I mean? But when you get guys that do these crazy stat lines or 50, 18, and 10, like that shit is incredible. Like, you know, you're not even getting players back in the 80s and 90s that could sometimes put up numbers like that. Of course, we had guys like Bird and Jordan, so we already know what crazy stat lines that they were able to do. And plus, back when I was watching, you know, they could put up, you know, 140, 160, 180 points. And it's not like the defense was shittier. The players were just better. You know, you wouldn't even be able to get a game to go 150 or 160 until it went like double overtime or triple overtime. Deep three there with 30 seconds left. 84-63. Everyone for the Miami Heat is thinking about what to have for dinner. They're like, well, we got our ass kicked. And, I mean, what did you think? It's the Denver Nuggets. You're not playing the fucking Boston Celtics with fucking Missoula. It's like sometimes you just got to find the right type of role players. Yeah, is there a lot of players better than Aaron Gordon that they could have added to the team? Of course. They could have drafted someone better than Michael Porter Jr., but sometimes it's just, you know, having that right fit and that right chemistry out of that player and having each guy be like an expert at whatever it is. You know, Michael Porter Jr. gives you that energy. Gordon gives you the rebounds and the defense and that dunking ability and being able to bully his way down low with his big upper body, you know. Joker all around, great passer. And then Jamal Murray, obviously, you know, insane scorer, one-on-one. His athletic ability and his scoring ability have drastically improved. Like Jalen Brunson. Those two are really, really fun to watch for me as far as lower name guys that don't get respect. And I love the guys that don't get the respect, the guys that are underrated, that get no love. Hell, I can relate. All right, end of the third quarter, Nuggets 84, Heat 63. They're fucked. You ain't going to see the Stanley Cup like this. I hope we don't get a sweep, though. That would be pretty embarrassing. But also, it would make Denver look really fucking good, right? And then finally, they would get some fucking respect. You know, Joker is like legit. So instead of everyone talking about Embiid and Luka and Giannis, that we can be like, you know what? Maybe the Joker isn't the flashiest. He looks like Gunther Walter. You know what I mean? Just this big, tall Caucasian or European white dude. You know what I mean? But the bottom line is, you know, he might be boring sometimes to some people, but, you know, like Tim Duncan compared to like Kevin Garnett, one's more street ball, one more kind of just, you know, by the book, right? But the bottom line is, what do we remember Tim Duncan by? You know, for being a legend and being arguably the best power forward that ever lived, or one of the, you know? So, absolutely. Yeah, he is. You know, and I feel that he's just like in his prime. You know, he's already won a couple MVPs, but this could be the beginning of a dynasty. There's going to be these other teams in the West trying to build super teams. And, you know, if the Nuggets just get a couple more players, better bench players, another really good starter, it's going to be really hard for people to compete with them in the West as long as the Joker keeps playing this well. And then on the East, you got to get rid of Mazzulla, but I guess the Celtics are content with him. So then they got to decide with Tatum and then Brown this year and next year. But they got to get a better coach. And then Giannis, if he doesn't get hurt, there'll be an opportunity there. Sixers need better coaching, which they got a new one, but they need better role players and better bench. You know, they can't just go for name recognition like James Harden. That shit don't work. So, you know what I mean? But it just feels like the Nuggets, you know, their biggest threat might be like the Bucks if they actually get there. But if the Bucks get knocked off with injuries or if Giannis misses free throws, then it might just be Nuggets rolling through teams. And you never know. This could be the beginning of a three-peat. I know, you know, it's kind of hard for people to see ahead. But if you're just looking at the projection of the league and how it's going, you know, it's like you knew the Avalanche weren't going to be able to repeat. You know, like they had all their eggs in the basket, but they were really fucking good. Preseason, regular season, postseason, you knew it. I didn't watch any hockey last year, and even I was able to predict Avalanche in 6, and that's exactly what happened, right? But with this Nuggets team, it looks like there's a little bit of longevity there. The coach is not like Pop, you know, but the coach ain't that bad. He's actually pretty decent, and they play hard for him. And like I said, the West, you know, there's a lot of, you know, shitty teams, and some teams are getting a little older, like the Lakers. So obviously they're not going to be able to make a deep run every single year once LeBron is gone and whatnot, unless they bring in another superstar. So Mike's in the building. How are you? What's good, bro? How are you? That's another guy that's absolutely terrible on TV. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. Like, and some of these guys, I feel that on TV they have, you know, horrible takes, and I feel some of these guys get exposed by other NBA players for being a little controversial, maybe even being quote unquote a tad racist, even though they try to act like they're not racist. But you know, it's like if you have two basketball players, regardless if one's white and one's black, and you're going over different topics, like a JJ Redick, for example, with him and like Perkins, you know, you can definitely tell with some people that are on some of these panels, whether they want to admit it or not, they definitely have some hate in their heart, and they definitely are biased. And I can't really respect anyone that is going to be racist or, you know, be controversial like that, you know, or try to pretend that they're not being a certain way when you know goddamn well they are, you know, when they're being fake. And there's just so many people that are fake nowadays. But yeah, I can't listen to fucking Stephen A or Perk or any of these guys. You guys are all fucking terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. Nice. Hell yeah. I know you're going to read it and you're going to update me. Corner 3. Good, bro. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad that you're here. 84-68. The only other option I had tonight was the Angels and Astros, but I figured it's NBA Finals. I might as well. You know, I do every sport. So, and this hasn't been, you know, some games are pulling teeth for me in the NBA. You know, but again, if when we're in the playoffs, it's a little bit more enjoyable to watch in the regular season. And then when the further that we get to the Eastern, Western Finals and the NBA Finals, then I get interested because we're at the end. So not only are you going to be ending soon, then I can really take advantage and soak in the Joker. I don't want to hear about the Joker and see the highlights. I want to be able to watch it for myself. And there's not a lot of guys that I can really enjoy nowadays. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka, Giannis, Embiid, you know, there's a few, you know, but I really do love the Joker because he reminds me of Larry Bird and Dirk and Luka all kind of in one guy. And it's fun to watch. And obviously, you know, the Miami Heat are just not as good. It's like you got a 1 seed versus an 8 seed. Yeah, and it's cool. You might have been able to run through the people in the Eastern Conference, right? But, I mean, regardless if it was Miami, the Sixers, the Celtics, or even the Bucks, I don't think you're beating Denver this year. Maybe the best option would have been the Bucks with a healthy Giannis. That would have been the only team that would have been able to beat Denver, in my opinion. That would have been the only team that would have took Denver to 6 or 7 and could have won, in my opinion. But it just wasn't meant to be. You know, Giannis got hurt, came back, missed a bunch of free throws, and then it's just amazing that the Heat beat him in 5. Like, you would think that would be just not possible, but $20. Let's get to a hundo. I appreciate that. Well, for intentionally wrecking, you know what I mean? They didn't want to protect their golden boy, you know, and they're going to have other guys, Bubba Wallace and a few of these other guys that they're going to suspend, and they have to keep it consistent, you know, and I know they don't want to suspend the golden boy, but I guess they are just trying to keep it so everything is fair, so that there's no favoritism with Hendrick. And I think really it's not necessarily Chase Elliott. I think it's Hendrick Motorsports. I think a lot of the others, really dislike them. They're kind of the bullies in NASCAR because they're so good, with Bowman maybe being the worst one. But now with William Byron in the fold, you got Byron, you got, obviously Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson, and all three of those guys are championship worthy. Bowman is not, but that's three of the top 12, and Chase right now isn't as high as the others. Larson and William Byron have been better, but I imagine that's why they did that, to be able to, have Joe Gibbs Racing and some of these other teams got suspended and got in trouble as well. Stuart Haas, I saw that got, they tried to manufacture some kind of bootleg part or whatever in there and got caught and whatnot. Tried to manufacture an authentic part, and they had some bootleg thing that they tried to come together and whatnot after the inspections. So, and obviously, Chase's season is already a fucking wash because of that leg injury. It's not like he's going to win the championship this year. Hell, I don't even know how many races he's going to win. I mean, as good as he is, at this point, it looks like he might tap out at 2. I don't even know if he'll get there. I hope so. But he ain't going to win 3 or 4. The rest of the way the field has been racing, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch will get some more. You assume William Byron will win a few more, and then there'll be a few first-time winners sprinkled in on road tracks as well. So, was it Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, Penn State, USC, LSU, Florida State, Washington, Tennessee, Utah, Oregon at 12, Notre Dame 13, Clemson, TCU, Oregon State. I like what Oregon State has been doing. I can't be a hater on them. Texas, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, North Carolina, Iowa, Wisconsin, Texas Tech, and UCLA. Oh, nice. Good to hear. Right. But it seems like they're cracking down. I guess if they think it's a blatant, I'm wrecking you. So, obviously if things are kind of incidental, or if you sell it where it's just you got loose, but if it's they deem it where you wrecked someone on purpose based on what happened earlier in the day, But I guess, well, if it was the case like that, then Ross Chastain would be suspended every race, right? But I mean, he has started to be a little bit better this season than last season, but he's still going to piss off a lot of people. And on top of that, he's also going to get blamed for shit that he didn't do either. So, and I don't like seeing Chase get suspended. I mean, that's the last thing I want to see, but I guess but based off the reasoning that I figure is to make the playing field feel that they're not catering to Hendrick Motorsports. So. All right, we're in the fourth quarter, 84-71 Nuggets. Shows you how good the Nuggets are. It's you can be close for a quarter or two, and then all of a sudden they pull away, go on a little bit of a run, and then you're fucked. And there's no way to come back. And there's no way to come back is because they lock you down on defense, and they're a good rebounding team. They box out. You know what I mean? So it's yeah, you can make a couple threes here and there, but you're not coming back. And also Denver is smart when they're ahead. They're not going to keep fast breaking and shooting threes like idiots and letting you get back in the game. They're going to wear the clock down. You know what I mean? It's an 11-0 run to start the quarter. Good for them, but they're not winning this game. They got too many smart players on that roster. Nice pass. Look at that. Joker, in most scenarios, the best player in the world would have forced a shot with 2 guys in his face. Nope. He's I'll just dish it down low. And that's why I love the Joker. 15, 13, and 9. One more rebound for a triple-double. And it shows you they can win without him getting 30, 40, 50 points. He can get 15, 15, and 15, or 15, 12, and 10. And that stat line may not seem great, but if he's getting everyone involved, that means Aaron Gordon is involved. Caldwell Pope is involved. We already know Murray will get his own shots. Michael Porter Jr. is involved. See, look at this. Most guys would have shot that. He's fuck it, I'll go to Green off the bench down low. And I love that about him. Yeah. Yep. You sure have. I like Ross too. Like I said, he's in my top 3. Like I said, I like Chase, I like Kyle, I like Ross, and then obviously I still like Kyle Busch, and I like Joey Logano. I mean, I'm not going to necessarily root for those guys to win every single race when I have other guys that I like a little bit more, but I respect the hell out of them. Those are the best 5 guys in NASCAR to me right now. You know, Chase Elliott still needs to get back to his form because of the injury and whatnot and having, you know, to get back in the loop. But Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch. Those are my Fab 5. Joker don't even need to be at 40 every night. That's how good he is. He doesn't need it. You know, he can give you, I mean, hell, Joker could give you 10, 10, and 10, and they could still win. I mean, that shows you how unselfish he is. And that's really what makes this Denver Nugget team special. And it reminds me of like the Spurs teams that were kind of boring, but just really, really well coached and really, really good, very fundamental. And also the Detroit Pistons with Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Tayshaun Prince, Ben Wallace, Rasheed Wallace, where it was always about team, not me. And it shows. Free throw is good. 88-74. Nuggets up by 14. Free throws, only 2 for Miami all game. 14 attempts for the Nuggets, 12 for 14. And like I said, they just don't match up well to the Nuggets at all. Assists and rebounds, yeah, absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. And you got to think like Giannis and Embiid are a little bit more selfish. Luka, you know, those guys kind of want to be the guy. Like Joker doesn't want to be the guy, doesn't even care. You know what I mean? Like Jamal Murray could score more points. He gives 2 fucks. He don't care. Nice pass. Unbelievable. There we go. Ridiculous. Like I said, this could be the beginning of a dynasty, and you haven't heard anyone say it yet. You know what I mean? But, you know, I can be one of those first people. This could be the beginning. And I'm not saying they're going to go back-to-back or 3-peat or anything like that, but it just feels like the way that the NBA is, it wouldn't be shocking to think that Denver gets a couple more championships at some point before the Joker retires. He's that good. I mean, imagine if they end up getting another superstar to join Jamal Murray. You know, like Shea from like OKC, you know, or something. You know, like a big time player, you know. You get someone like that and Joker and Murray, like a huge big 3, then you're really fucked at that point. Simpsons will be the QB. I don't know anything really about the new roster coming in and whatnot, but I imagine once we get a little bit closer to college football, I'll do a little bit more reading and film study. And, you know, obviously I try to watch as many spring games when they're possible, when they're on, but that only shows you so much, you know, with all the transfers and everything else that they got going on. But obviously I imagine you guys will be right there in the mix with Georgia and a few other teams to go at each other again. So, all right, 90-74, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. All right, let me go to the Angels and Astros. Bottom of the 8th, 4-2 Astros. And that was really the only other option for today for an event. And that was on FS1. But a regular season game or NBA Finals game 1, this has a little bit more importance. So.
Is now a part of Panera's Unlimited Sip Club. With over 25 beverages included,
yeah, we'll see what happens, obviously, as it gets closer to the regular season, and we'll see if any other changes are made. I like watching Georgia Bama football and SEC football to kind of see how they match up to everyone else, and usually they're much better than everyone else. And I'll definitely get very excited to watch Ohio State and Michigan, and I'm definitely looking forward to watching the Ducks. But USC, I'm going to be obviously having my eyes on the Pac-12. And obviously Caleb, I'm going to need a quarterback. So what year is Simpson? Yeah. Well, obviously, Bama just needs to get back to being number one again. You know what I mean? And then knocking Georgia off the throne. And there's not going to be many teams that are going to be able to knock off of Georgia or Alabama when they are the top dog. I mean, best chance that we usually have is like Michigan or Ohio State, and usually they fail miserably. So even though that the Big Ten is the second best conference, there still is a huge gap. It's like if you combine Michigan and Ohio State's roster, then maybe you can beat Georgia or Alabama, but that maybe no guarantee with that either. And it's Russell Wilson. He looks thinner. He's lost weight. Sean Payton's like, lose weight, biatch. There's Payton, big old 8 head, 10 head, 12 head. He ain't human. There's my boy, my cousin, Ken Jeong, Dr. Ken, my boy. Doctor by day, comedian by night. Super funny. 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 90-74 Nuggets. This one's been over by the third quarter. Second year. Now you got the Joker on the bench, but you're up by quite a bit. 14, so. .635 left in the fourth quarter. And then after the game is over, I don't think that the baseball game will be on still, but we can go into food or wrestling or cars or whatever we decide to get into for photos. We'll hang out for a little bit longer, and then we can call it a day, and then we'll be back tomorrow for Yankees and Dodgers more than likely, and then Stanley Cup on Saturday, and then maybe possibly NASCAR or baseball on Sunday. Where is the race this weekend, Mike? What race is on tap for this week? Oh man, Pacific Cooler Capri Sun, baby, so good. Yeah, and also I want to be able to see Ugalele, from a Clemson transfer at Oregon State. Oregon State is like starting to become like the better team in Oregon, and a lot of times we've been like big brother beating up on little brother, but as of late, little brother has been able to get just as good as us, if not better, and their defense has been better, and that's really our problem is that we don't have good defense or defensive recruits. So, I mean, we can still be a top 25 team, but I don't really know how good we're going to be next year. I hope we can be one of the top 2 in the Pac-12, but I'm thinking 3rd or 4th is more realistic, just based off the other rosters that I've seen. But you never know. Maybe we can overachieve. Nuggets 92, Heat 78. And I definitely need to go to fucking Autzen. It's been a minute since I've actually gone to a game. It's been like, I didn't get a good chance to go last year, so I feel like a little dead inside. I need to be able to go there. It's like cool that I can actually do the games here from the studio, but it's not the same being front row behind the duck bench and tailgating and hanging out with people. Enjoy 300 Illinois in St. Louis. Nice. Heck yeah, I can't wait. Chicago. The road race, and like they're going to be doing it like in the city, like in the neighborhoods. And I watched a little bit of that Indy 500, Mike. I watched that for you and Sarah and a few of the others that follow racing. I normally don't watch, Indy 500, and I usually don't watch trucks or the Xfinity series, but I have been trying to get more involved in racing as a whole and watching, not just the Cup series, but watching trucks a little bit, watching Xfinity. And I actually really did enjoy, I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but I watched a majority of it, and it was crazy. Towards the end of the race, one of those last wrecks, one of the tires clipped another car and it went into the crowd. I was like, oh, holy shit. I mean, those cars are crazy. And like the controllers, their steering wheels look like Sony PlayStation or Xbox controllers. They have all like the little lit up buttons and everything. It looks like a video game controller in those F1 vehicles. Fucking crazy. Come here, Paisley. All right, so it looks like it's what do we got here? NASCAR Cup Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway on FS1. That's on June 4th. And then NASCAR Cup Series at Sonoma road race. Is that the one that Suarez won last year for his first race win, I believe? And then NASCAR Cup Series at Nashville Super Speedway. And then July 2nd, right before the 4th of July, that's that really cool one, that Cup Series at Chicago street course. I can't wait for that. And then after that's Atlanta. So July 2nd, it'll be a couple days before 4th of July. I am stoked. I can't wait to see what that looks like. That's going to be so cool. Like, that would be one to go to. Like, imagine just being at a coffee shop or being at a restaurant or bar on top of a roof and just, getting faded and just watching those cars go by. That would be so sweet. Eating some burgers and dogs and drinking some beer and watching them go right past you. Sounds amazing. 10-point game. Lay up there by the Heat. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Only 22 races left total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 so far. So we're about halfway through the season. 94-82 Nuggets. 3:35 left in the fourth quarter. Nuggets aren't a dumb team where they're just going to take a bunch of threes and, let the Miami Heat get back into it. You're going to go back to your best player. And, if he hasn't been an offensive force, you can feed it to him here at the end of the game. It's not being a ball hog. It's just about being a great team and knowing what your best weapon is. And if your best weapon when you're up, 14 points is to go to the Joker and let him decide to shoot or to pass, and you're going to be in business. A little bad defense there on the initial switch there with the Joker. 96-84 Nuggets. Murray, 3, no good. Offensive rebound stolen. It's like the Joker has like the quietest stat lines too. 23, 13, and 9. But, it just at halftime, he barely had anything. It's like 10 points, 9 boards. 3 in the corner. 96-87. And at this point, if you're the Nuggets, you can kind of play keep away a little bit, but you still want to have your foot on the gas. You know what I mean? You don't want to just play keep away and let them get hot and get back into the game where it ends up being like a 3-point game with like 20 seconds left. You don't want that. We want good shots here. There we go. Yeah. Are they doing the Xfinity race in Oregon again? Are they going to be doing that again this year like they did last year or no? Oh. You know who's an outlaw? Mike. Mike is the outlaw. Mike. 2 phones, 2 hogs, 2 fish. Morgan. My boy. Nice. Yeah, I've been trying to get outside every day for you too, man. Like, just being by water, and just being able to hang out, just by the river with Paisley. It's just, she'll try to munch on some grass and, eat, gnaw on some sticks and whatnot, stare at some ducks, but she won't jump in. She'll just hang out with me. Next free throw is good. 187. So at least Miami is fighting, but obviously a little too late. Gordon with a good game, 16 and 6. Jump shot is no good. Now you can slow it down. Foul. They have no one to match up to the Joker, period. It's just, like I said, you had to have a player like Giannis in the finals. If you don't have a Giannis in the finals, then the Denver Nuggets are going to keep winning. If you get the Joker and you get there, and they keep playing like this could be the beginning of a dynasty. We could have back-to-back or You know, what happens if we end up getting like a three-peat or, you know, or 3 championships in 4 or 5 years? That wouldn't shock me. Triple-double in finals debut. Jason Kidd and Nikola Jokic. He's kind of good. Second free throw is good. 102-87. Nuggets. It's kind of cool to be able to see that type of representation too. You know, it's like, you know, you'll get the brothers, you know, you'll get the Caucasian Americans, but then it's cool to be able to see these European guys and foreign-born players like Luka and the Joker have this love too. You know, it's an international game. And like for the longest time, the brothers would dominate, you know, besides like Larry Bird back in the day. But now with like Dirk, you know, being German, Luka, the Joker, now you're starting to see the European players be just as good as the brothers and the Caucasians, if not the best in the world. You know, besides a guy like, you know, Giannis. Greek Freak. Nice corner 3. He got his triple-double, 27, 14, and 10. God, he's good. Oh, good to hear. I'm just glad you're hanging out, bro. I miss you. All right, we got 35 seconds left. The Joker being the Joker. And look at that. Oh, I like the Joker too because he can use his left. All right, here comes the bench. Fewest free throw attempts in a game in NBA playoff history, 3. Tonight, Miami has 2. And of course, people are going to complain and saying the game was rigged and they just, you know, where everything was for the Nuggets. The Nuggets are just a better fucking team. You know what I mean? Like whatever fucking angle or narrative that you have. I mean, like I said, they're, you know, Jimmy Butler is nice, but he's not Joker. He's, you know what I mean? He's not the best in the world. He's one of the top maybe 20 players in the NBA, but he's not the best in the world. He's not Giannis. 3 in the corner, no good. All right, we're about to wrap this up here. And then we can do some like food or something for the last, you know, 30, 40 minutes or whatnot if we end up going to the 3-hour mark. Shot clock is turned off. And we're in the top of the 9th. Astros 5, Angels 2. They're fucking good. And just watching them play, it kind of makes you feel that there's a chance that Miami might not even win a game. Like, as good as they are, like, this is just not an easy environment. And look at that, 13, 7 and 7, 6 for 14. That's not going to get you a dub on the fucking road. You know, it's like Jimmy Butler needs to throw up 30, 40, you know, and not be a ball hog. But yeah, I like chatting with you too, man. All right, what do we want to look at here? All right, the game is over at this point, so you know we can leave Colorado, we can leave Denver. All right, so we just left. All right, we're someone better now, and now we can go towards food or whatever you guys want at this point. But whatever you guys want, you let me know what you guys want. You guys want NASCAR? You guys want wrestlers? We want to do food. You know, whatever you guys want, you let me know. And we'll hang out here probably for another 37 minutes. And we'll see if anyone else shows up. We'll see if we can get on any kind of dono train. And then we'll evaluate from there. And then we might end the stream at the 3-hour mark. Maybe we'll go to the 3-hour and 30 mark or 4-hour mark. We'll kind of just play it by ear. But for the bare minimum, we're going to go to the 3-hour mark. So we can at least see if we can get a little bit more, maybe people showing up, and maybe we have a chance to hit the goal. So. Yeah, but I think even Heat fans, you know, unless you're just, you know, it's one thing if you're biased or whatnot. But if you actually thought you were going to be able to compete with this team, then you didn't really watch Denver at all, or you're hating on the Joker, and not realizing how good he is. Like the Joker and Murray, like look at the second pair of teammates with 25 and 10 each in a finals game. Last time, Magic Johnson, James Worthy. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Like, as good as Luka is, if I had to choose between Luka and the Joker, I would choose Joker. Like a Joker and Giannis, either way is a winner. You can't go wrong either way. But if you ended up getting the Joker, you wouldn't be dissatisfied. And honestly, the Joker probably has a better chance on winning more titles than Giannis does, honestly. Megan in the building. What's good? Nice job by the Nuggets. Getting the job done. He said, pointing, ring, ring, ring. I need it, he says.
Sunday, like they've done time and time again all season long. Game 2, of course, will be.
What's good? Hey, well, they're the two best players in the world, the Giannis and the Joker. Those are the two best. I got to keep it real, right? Oh, no worries. It's all good, man. I'm going to keep grinding it out. So we'll go here for another 34 minutes, and anything that you guys want to see, you let me know. Like I said, obviously if we end up getting a few more people that come through, that's always better. But we can do a number of things. I don't care. We can do food. We can do NASCAR. We can do wrestlers. We can do cars. We can do whatever you guys want. I'll throw up a poke bowl for you, man. Matt's all about the Hawaiian cuisine, living out there. All right, so this is over. So let me change this. All right. All right, we got a Star Wars marathon, so I'll probably click on that if I got nothing else to watch. The Last Jedi. All right, what else do we got? Women's College World Series, X Games. What is this? Georgia Spring Game. Yankees and Mariners replay from yesterday. I guess the end of the Angels and the Astros. I think it just ended. Oh, they got Thurman Thomas on A Football Life. All right, I'll watch a little bit of that. What's up? Yep. What are you doing? Okay.
Buffalo was outscored 24-0 in the second half and lost their fourth straight Super Bowl. I felt for them because of the mistakes, how magnified they were because of the stage that we were playing on. That's not a good place to be at.
All right, no worries. Hope you're doing well.
I think that it was a really great accomplishment that all of them won 4 years in a row. It stings.
Wow, that's awesome.
I think it's really cool and really awesome.
No way. They got 5? Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. $5 holla, bang, 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 boom, boom, boom. Bang, bang. $5 holla. You got any players or anything specific? You want me to bring up some stuff from that team? Elliot in the building. What's good? Congratulations on your Padres getting a dub today. As soon as I looked at the scoreboard, I thought of you. 10-1. Nice to get back on track. And like I told you, the Nuggets, this could be a dynasty. This could be something where, the beginning where you got Giannis on the East and you got the Joker now on the West. And that's going to be the best matchup moving forward, getting those two big guys guarding each other. No other matchup is going to be as exciting as that. I mean, even Embiid and Joker would be pretty good, but I think Embiid would get fucked up. So, but with Giannis, it would be like 50-50, going both ways. So, you want me to do some Milwaukee Admirals? And I got a poke bowl for my boy Matt here. I know he loves the Hawaiian cuisine.
He didn't have much to give them at that point, but the mere fact that he was going to put on.
Wow, Thurman Thomas in a Dolphins uniform. That's weird. Oh, look at those veggies. That looks good. And then we got what? Total Access. And then what's the classic game on it? Bills and Oilers trailing 35-3 in the second half. The Bills execute the greatest comeback in NFL history to beat the Oilers in the AFC wildcard game from January 3rd, 1993. That's on NFL Network tonight from 9 to midnight. So if you're looking for some old school action for football, then that leads to something to watch. Yes, thank you so much. Okay, let's do that. Well, plus everyone was sleeping, on the Nuggets, and no one wanted to give them respect. It's like, oh, the Grizzlies are going to beat them. Oh, the Kings are going to beat them. Like the beam. Oh, KD's on the Suns. It was just like every other team besides them. I've never seen a number one seed get so disrespected. But again, they haven't been there. They haven't won a finals. So people just wanted to assume that they would choke like they did in previous years. But this was finally the year where everything came together. And obviously Jamal Murray taking his game to the next level. You've seen Caldwell Pope, Aaron Gordon, and Michael Porter Jr. contributing. And the coaching has been magnificent for Denver too. So that's facts. All right, let's do some Milwaukee Admirals here for Whitey.
So famous, they named a burger after it. The hot, juicy, melty char-grilled Star Burger, only at Carl's Jr. in August. My rewards members get exclusive offers on the Carl's Jr. in August app.
So yeah, USAA, they always have my back. USAA? You were in the military? Oh no, I wasn't, but my grandpa was. He joined USAA, passed membership to my mom, then to me. There's other ways to get in? Yeah. My neighbor Ron, he's in because his wife served. Even little Luna, once she's born, her dad served. So all this time I could have had
a better one. Need to get one that fits the screen. There we go.
Over there.
USAA, for the military community and their families.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it. No way.
No way. No way.
No way. My kid would never vote. Get your head out of the cloud. Talk to your kid about vaping. Visit talkaboutVaping.
I like the jerseys. What do you think about having the Brewers, though, on the logo there? That seems a little weird. I mean, I know you guys are all, everything, obviously for that area, but just weird kind of seeing a Brewers patch on a hockey jersey. Is that just me, or is that you too? Yeah, but it also could be the Nuggets in a sweep. Like, I normally won't say that in many series, but it just feels like they don't match up very well, and it could be the Nuggets in 4 or the Nuggets in 5. I hope it's the Nuggets in 6, but I just don't think the series will go 7, and hopefully Miami can at least win 1 or 2, but they don't look like they're in the same stratosphere or in the same building. It looks like a freshman team playing a varsity team to me, and it's like, as good as Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are, they're just good players. The Joker and Giannis are the best in the world. And when you're going against the best in the world, I mean, that's tough. Oh, well, that makes sense then. They don't have a sponsor, so the sponsor is is just the Brewers because the guy owns both of them. That makes sense. That makes sense. But I don't know. It's just so big on the jersey, though. You know what I mean? Like they couldn't have put it on the arm or something, but I guess. That maybe it's just the contrast of colors. It's like, you know, you have the light blue and the black, and then you got the Brewers colors. It just, I don't know. It just kind of looks like it doesn't match, you know?
Since he arrived, Buffalo has embraced Thurman Thomas.
Hey, let's get him going, coach.
And he has embraced Buffalo.
What you do today, that's what counts. So why are you out here hustling every drill? Be great today. Be greater tomorrow.
All right, I got you, Luke. I'll give you some Luke. Luke, I am your father. He said, I want some pictures of Luke. See what I can find of Luke for you.
Thomas's passion for the Bills is still strong, as evidenced by his reaction from a Miami Stadium concourse when Buffalo earned a playoff berth for the first time in 18 years. But Thurman gets his most enjoyment from his family.
Loves his girls, loves little Thurman, loves his wife. I don't know if I've ever seen a man that's more committed to his family.
A family that was put to the test when his youngest daughter, Annika, went missing in 2014.
We knew she was having a tough time. We couldn't pinpoint what it was.
You know, as parents, we were forcing her to go to school. We were putting more pressure on her.
And one day we came home and it was early in the morning and her truck was gone and we didn't know.
Okay, there you go. There's your boy.
Hours go by. I don't know where she's at. We finally get in contact with her. And when that day came, you're like, you got to put her in a place. And just listen to a doctor.
Luke Evangelista? Is that how you pronounce it?
Mental health issues that Annika is having. First thing that came to my mind is like, no, that's not. That's my kid. My kid's stronger than that. Oh, no. I didn't believe it.
Well, for a while, I think that I was trying to tell them what was going on with me, but they would kind of say, you know, you're in high school and kids are going through these changes, you have anxiety. So I was kind of expecting a little more of that. But once I got the official diagnosis that I was depressed.
Is it? You got any updates for me on how it's going?
Thurman Thomas and his daughter Annika have quite a story when it comes to mental health and the impact that it's had on their family.
I just want the stigma to go away. I just want people to talk about it more like they talk about physical injuries because it's so common. The more you talk about it, the more people connect with you and the more people come and say, oh, you know, I have that. And it helps.
And welcome to the Friendship Foundation's Courage to Come Back Awards Dinner. We're here
Evangelista.
in recovery and those individuals who have supported their recovery.
Just like he did everything yesterday, he put it out in front of him and keep very proud of him.
We made a decision that
Oh, nice.
public with it. And I tell you what.
Heck yeah.
A couple of years ago,
Well, you got 10 runs, bro. So, I mean, I know there's been times where you haven't really done too good. I'm looking at your stat line right now. Tatis. Sanchez homered. I'll throw up some Jake Cronenworth for you. Give you some Crone.
it is halftime at Archer Park with the Thurman Thomas jersey retirement ceremony coming up.
He loves his family and he loved his teammates.
I didn't hear anything.
He grasped Buffalo and loved it and he became a Buffalonian.
And once again, we're giving a great big thank you to the city of Buffalo, my home. Even through it all, I did my job as a football player.
know, I had my jersey retired in high school, college, and now the pros. I mean, I don't think there's anything left, you know, for me to accomplish as a football player.
From this point on, when I look up and see the number 34 retired under my name, I'll be reminded that number doesn't just belong to me. It belongs to the Bills fans everywhere. Thank you. God bless. I love you.
I will continue to support this city, support this organization.
Chrome Zone.
Help me. The only thing I can do is help you get back to them.
Oh, nice. Wow, I haven't watched Total Access in a minute. DeAndre Hopkins talk. Definitely a slow time when there's not a whole lot going on the NFL side. Am I actually going to watch USFL football? Is that what's going on here? Is this even live? When is this? No, this is from 5/27. Birmingham Stallions versus the Nolens Breakers. Well, there's nothing else on, so I guess USFL football finally gets on my TV at some point.
West Hills out of the backfield, maybe say Shrek. They need to start spreading the ball out a little bit. Look for Jonathan Adams today, number 9, to get a little bit of love. He's had a quiet
Yeah, I haven't watched any USFL. This is the first footage I've seen this season. Watched a little bit of the XFL the first couple weeks, and then obviously at the championship, but I haven't watched really since then. Yeah, that's true. You know what I mean? Like I said, anyone that has watched, the matchups, it's been a great Cinderella story, and it's one thing getting past Milwaukee and Boston and whatnot, but this Denver Nugget team is just built different, and you're going against the best player in the world. Hopefully you guys don't get swept. Hopefully you guys win like 2 or at the very, very least 1. But again, it's a very impressive year. It's just very difficult when you get to this point and you play a team that is that stacked. So I think you hit it right on the head. You're just not on Denver's level. I totally agree. Oh, that sounds good. We talked about that with the corn on the cob and whatnot. Nice. That sounds good. Yeah. So, obviously, since the XFL is over, I'll probably try to watch a little bit, but it just depends on what I got going on for, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup, Dodgers, Mariners. And after all that, then if it's, nothing else on, then if I have to fall back on USFL, then I can do that. Buc-ee's. Pulled pork brisket. Look how good that is.
Kevin, is that this defense is going to have to roll to single safety, all right? They get a little technical and bring the safety and second one down to stop the run.
I'm almost done, Paisley.
One-on-ones on the outside, and I believe Jonathan Adams is the best one-on-one receiver in the league. He's 6'3", he's 220 pounds. That's a mismatch out there.
This photo is mesmerizing. I could just stare at that all day, every day. Looks so delicious. Shit, look how Buc-ee's does it. Well, it's a regular season award. So, everyone, sees how his points per game went down 10 and, he's not a leader and he was calling out everyone besides him and Harden, even though him and Harden disappeared in the fourth quarter, so we have to understand that And that's part of the motivation for the Joker, that you counted them out. They were the number one team all year. No one wanted to give them credit. Everyone wanted to say Denver, isn't that good. And maybe it's Memphis. Maybe it's the Kings. Maybe it's the Lakers. Oh, it's going to be KD and the Suns, but no one wanted to give them the respect. And sometimes when you get disrespected, then you play the best, and obviously you can see him pointing to his ring finger. He wants to prove that, besides the MVPs from a few years ago, he already has 2. He could have had another one this year. Hell, you could give the MVP to Giannis and the Joker back and forth for the rest of their careers if you want to really go that route. Those are the 2 best players in the world right now. So, but of course, you want to be able to sprinkle it around if you can a little bit. Man, I wish I could eat there. I've never ate there before. All right, brother. Take it easy. Enjoy that Hawaiian weather out there.
They've been doing such a good job for West Hills. As West Hills came into this ball game with 500 yards rushing already on the season. And this is the type of guy that had a great game against Birmingham in their first matchup. And he's certainly a guy that they can throw it to as well out of the backfield.
Yeah, well, he's the best center in the league playing now. But I mean, I've been watching sports, since like the 80s, and I'll tell you that if he matched up against any of the top dogs, Olajuwon, Ewing, Robinson, or Shaq, I mean, he would get obliterated. He still would be able to hang around and do decent, but he's nowhere near the, skill level as those 4. Oh, burnt hands. All right, JB, take it easy, brother.
So watch as he then just comes across, and now he's just going to exploit the middle of the field. That's pocket awareness. You get yourself open just a little bit.
He's still got a long ways to go, you know what I mean, for a career. He has to keep playing, keep stacking championships. If he ends up getting 3 championships, he'll be known as, one of the best modern day players. But I mean, you got Bill Russell, right? You got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you got Shaq, you got Olajuwon, you got Ewing, you got Robinson. So, I mean, I think you have to kind of wait for his career to finish, and then we have to be able to reflect at that point. Too early to call him a top 5 center right now. No, but he's pacing to be one of the best centers of all time. But he's more of like a power forward rather than a center to me. You know what I mean? The way that he plays. But he can also pass like a point guard. That's what makes him so special. So. All right, no problem, brother. Have a good rest of your night.
Out there, right tackle gets a nice block and block inside by Paul Adams, 77, creating those lanes in the middle for Hills. He's exploring them, and how many third downs already have we had that have been third and short? Short by 19 inches on this one. They're 2 for 2 on their short third downs on this drive. Another 3rd and 1. Hills again with the carry. Up the middle for the first down inside the 2. First and goal. What a workmanlike drive by the Raiders. Well, watch him press that front side of the line of scrimmage first, and then he just has a small cutback. And it's not really a cutback, but it's more of a cut up the field right there. Designed to go right, cuts right up the field, and then that forward lane to get the line to gain and create a first and goal. We're going to try to run a toss over here to the left side. 99 toss. We're good here. He says they're going to toss over here. There's the toss. Hills in trouble in the backfield. Terrific penetration for Johnny Newsom. throws it for a loss of a toss. Well, that's what you've got to get is you've got to get penetration against that toss. That's why it's incumbent on those players on the outside. Dixon misses the block, number 2. He's got to come down. If he can pin the in-man on the line of scrimmage, that's going to go for a touchdown. The wide receiver has got to come down and get loose and block, at least a shade of a block, a chip, if nothing else, in order for Hills to get outside.
I saw the photos there, Whiting. Yeah, he looks like the Matrix or something. Like they're like Neo, dressed to impress. All right, we got 11 minutes to go. We'll kind of see where we're at from there, and then if we decide to end up ending the stream, we can do that, and then we'll be back at it tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a little bit better of a day. And you never know, maybe we'll get a few people showing up here, and we can go a little bit longer. And then anything that you guys want to see at any point, just let me know. Just kind of going through like the different meets and whatnot.
Off the first incompletion of the day, it's 3rd and goal. To the air once more. Steps away from pressure. Throws behind the intended target, West Hills, with that pocket collapsing. And the Stallions defense bends plenty, but doesn't break. That's a good red zone stop, at least forcing them into kicking situation. And they do it without a blitz. Normally you'd look at John Chavis and you'd say, okay, this is the type of guy that's going to want blitz, create some pressure, but he gets a 4-man rush, and is able to get home and create some pressure. McLeod Bethel Thompson never felt comfortable. Good coverage there back in. Matthew Coughlin's going to have to come off from the field goal. From 25 yards, Coughlin's field goal is good, and a
3-0. Nolans. The Breakers. There's got to be something better than this on right now. This is the only thing I got. Let me go to FS1 and see what kind of MLB recap they got going on here. No. Maybe I'll watch a Yankee Mariner replay. Hi, Paisley. Almost done.
You right to right. You mentioned Dave, 111 off the bat. So, wow, he's continuing to see the baseball well. He's falling behind here quickly, 0-2. But always a tough at bat. It's a tough part of the lineup as well for Clay Holmes.
0-2 pitch. Struck him out. 3 pitches, 1 down. 3 consecutive strikeouts of Mariner hitters. Yankee pitching, all swinging. 1 down in the 9th.
Yeah, there's nothing really. Everything else is kind of finished. Everything is pretty much wrapped up. So, hi, Paisley. Dad's almost done. And then maybe we'll go for a walk and hang out, huh? Here. She loves Dad.
Hi, honey.
Oh, that looks good. Labradoodle. Oh, nice. Girlfriend. Is it like one of the neighbor dogs or whatever? Paisley has her favorites. Like we have this one dog that's like a 3-legged dog. It's like a rescue dog, and this woman rescued it, and it's very, very tiny little dog, and then it's like Paisley's friend. you know. And she'll usually bark at a lot of the other dogs, but so there'll be a couple that she'll be nice to. Oh, that's awesome. It's always good to have those bonds and whatnot. I'm just happy I'm able to, my leg is still, my knee is good now, but now I have this like shooting pain. It's like not on my ankle, but it's like on the front part of my leg, but it's like where the ankle is. And it's kind of like going up my leg, like the size of like half of a ruler. And it like really hurts. And like, I'm trying to like massage that part and like stretch it, point my leg down, point my leg up. But it's just like really fucking sore. But, I have to keep going. Like Paisley needs the exercise. I can't just be like, well, I'm injured. I have to keep going. So, but at least my knee doesn't hurt like it did. Hold on, Paisley. Dad's almost done. It's okay, honey. It's okay. Dad's almost done. I know you're begging to go in, but if you're being a little too crazy, you have to spend time with Dad. Yeah. Well, like I said, when I fell down that embankment, now I just like let the leash go and I just let, I just throw it down there and I let Paisley go down there. Cause if I try to hang on to the leash and she jerks at the last minute, it's slippery with the grass and the mud. And then, I could end up falling down or twisting my ankle or twisting my leg. And like I said, I'm very cautious now, like I don't want to, have any, and like I said, a lot of these places take a little bit of work to get down there. It's not just, you take a couple steps in the grass and then you're there. Sometimes you got to go down a little bit and then it gets a little slick and slippery. But, the one was like by the nature park and it's like a big 10-foot drop, into the water and really fucking muddy. And then the other one is more grassy area, but then some slick spots and whatnot. So, yeah, but it's good for my mental health. I feel so good when I'm able to see that every day, and even if it's only for like a half hour, but I'll usually just stay there until I look and Paisley's already kind of walking back up the trail and that's our cue to go. So I let her kind of control that. But she enjoys it too. She knows exactly where it's at. She knows, knows the routine. We're very routine oriented. So. Paisley. She's defeated in here laying down. She's like, Dad. And then we'll probably K-Dog and Brian Danielson. There you go. And then we'll do Dodgers Yankees tomorrow at 7, and hopefully we'll get some people to come through and chill with us. And then we'll have some Stanley Cup action on Saturday, and then we'll figure out either NASCAR or baseball on Sunday, then NASCAR on Monday. So or not NASCAR, NHL on Monday. So we'll figure it out. I mean. All right, I'm just going to wrap. I'm going to go through the pictures here one more time, and then that should get us to about the 3-hour mark. And then we'll just call it a day, and then hopefully we just anticipate hopefully things getting a little bit better as we move further along into the week. So, and obviously the basketball game, it wasn't like pulling teeth for me. I mean, obviously you and me, we already know how we feel about the NBA. But even for me, when it gets to the end, well, then that means it's getting closer to the end. So that way I can get excited about that. But then I can also soak in how good the Joker is and appreciate what the Nuggets are about to do. So, and I want to appreciate this pulled pork and brisket. Looks fantastic. Buc-ee's, they know what they're doing. I need to road trip and go eat there. God, look at those burnt ends. Look at the glistening on that. It's like certain photos are just so much better than others. Like I always try to hit you with the best burger options. Like there's a lot of photos that are out there, but there's not a lot that look like this or that look like this. You know, it's like it takes time to cycle through to try to find those special ones, you know, or this one. I love this one with the onions popping out with the cheese. Oh, man. And then something just gaudy, you know, that's just like, I'm not even sure if that looks really good. It's just more like intimidating looking at something like that. Like that exists? Yeah, you don't really care, right? You know, it's like whoever wins is a winner. Same thing with the Stanley Cup. You know, whoever wins between Florida and Vegas, who cares? You know, it's like, you know, it could be the dominant team or it could be the hot, you know, underdog team. But obviously the Florida Panthers are better than the Miami Heat. They actually have a chance to beat Vegas. It'll be tough, but they have better players. And it seems like they would have a better shot to make the Cinderella story complete. I don't think Florida will get swept. They could win 2, and who knows? Maybe they can win 3, maybe even more than that. Well, but Vegas is very, very good. And we'll find out on Saturday how good they really are. That's facts. This guy's pretty fucking good, huh? But no surprise. We already kind of knew what was going to happen. But this is really the key. They have no one to match up against this. They can't stop this. They have no answer for this. And they have no answer for this either. So definitely going to be a long, long series for them. So, well, I appreciate you guys very, very much. Thank you to everyone that came through. Thank you to everyone that donated, everyone that chatted. Wish the game was a little bit closer, but again, we already kind of knew what was going to happen. Final score, Nuggets 104, Miami Heat 93. 1-0 lead for Denver. And obviously, I would assume that they'll try to take care of business and try to do everything they can to sweep or win in 5. And hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day. We will be back tomorrow for the Dodgers and the Yankees at 7 o'clock Pacific time. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys. Elliot and Sarah, you guys have a great rest of your night. And I got one question for you. Who you know talk sports like us? Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Gang.